Okay. Okay, I think we're good now. Awesome. Great. So, hi. Oh, shit. Hi, everyone. I am Tomorrow 15, and welcome to my live stream, rant stream, I should say, that will cover the FNAF movie and the Wish movie, both of which suck. Sorry, they just do. One, the second sucks a lot more than the first, but they both kind of suck. So, I'll explain why. Um, I'm sorry, but these movies are just not very good. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So, I should charge my phone. Hang on. Damn, she texted me at a very bad time. I'll respond to that later. Let me just go charge my phone. Okay, so let's talk about the chronology. Okay, so these movies were both released. Um, they were released about a month apart from each other. So, so yeah, they're both pretty recent releases. Um, I watched Wish yesterday, and Five Nights at Freddy's like a few weeks after it came out, like 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks after it came out. That's all I can say. So Wish is a bit more recent than the FNAF movie, but yeah, they're both not very good. Anyway, oh hi everyone in the chat. Mills, my boy, what is up? Poisonous Maple, Costanza Swanson, North. Your name is Xavier. Okay, cool. I will say that as time passes by, the FNAF movie has slightly grown on me, but Wish has gotten worse. Yes, that's fair because there's at least some charm in the FNAF movie. It for Wish there isn't any charm. Like it's probably the most soulless Disney movie I had ever watched. It's in some ways it's more soulless. So actually, to me, it felt more soulless than Mulan 2020. I'm not joking when I say that. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that. That's fine. To me, Wish just felt so soulless. At least Mulan, even though Mulan 2020 was a hot ass mess, at least you could tell that there was some care put into that film. With Wish, no. Sorry. It just, no. But anyway, Wish. Let me talk about Wish first, because that was the movie I watched more recently, and I have a lot of things to say on it. Let's just get the positives out of the way because there are almost none. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, you love my MJ vids? Thank you. I'm glad you like my Michael Jackson The Experience vids. But yeah, you should. I agree. You shouldn't have to be a diehard fan to enjoy a video game adaptation. That is a good point. But honestly, even if you were to ignore the fact that the FNAF movie is an adaptation, and if you were to just look at it as a standalone film, it's still not that great. But anyway, we'll get to that later. So, Wish. Let's talk about the positives. Okay, let me talk about Wish first. Like, I'm not even gonna bother summarizing the plot because there's barely a plot. I mean, there's a plot, but it sucks. I guess I should say that. That's a more accurate way of putting it. It just sucks, but we'll explain why in a moment. So let me just talk about Wish, the background. Okay, so Disney, has been around for 100 years, and this movie was meant to be a celebration, 100-year anniversary celebration of Disney as a company. And it's not that at all. It wasn't that when I went to watch it in the theaters. The movie was anything but a 100-year anniversary celebration. It felt kind of like Truth or Square. You know how Truth or Square was meant to be like the 10-year anniversary celebration of SpongeBob SquarePants? Well, Wish was like that, in that It just sucked. It was a very bad tribute to what it was supposed to be a celebration of. I'm sorry, it just sucked. Um, which is sad because there were several Disney movie references in there, and even the credit sequence had like little had like little appearances and silhouettes of Disney characters from other films. So Wish wanted to be an anniversary celebration of Disney, but it really wasn't that at all. Like I don't know what Disney was thinking when they were making this movie because it just sucked. Truth or Square is exactly a very accurate description, to be honest, right? Yeah, I would agree that Truth or Square is worse, but honestly, Wish is barely better. That's how I feel. That's really how negative I am towards this movie. I gave it a chance. I knew that people didn't like it. I knew that it was tanking. Well, actually, I knew that people. Actually, I didn't know it was tanking until after I watched the film. I was like, oh, let me look at how it's doing in the box office. You know what? I wish I hadn't done that because it's just doing very badly. But I knew that people didn't like it. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it anyway. You guys know me. If people don't like a film, I'm gonna watch it anyway, so I could get my own opinion on it. And I agree with everyone in that this movie just sucks. The visuals were a very mixed bag, in my opinion, mostly because the animation itself is very inconsistent. I agree. So I actually do like the style. I will say that I agree that the animation is flawed. I do like the style. I like the style they were trying to go for. I didn't think the style was that bad, but it did look incomplete. And it did kind of look like a mismatch of things. Kind of like, it felt like a combination of whatever Encanto was and Into the Spider-Verse. It felt like that. As well as Pushing Boots The Last Wish. It's like they were trying to combine that with Wish, with Encanto style. And I'm like, and it's like, I mean, it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just not great either. But I did like it for what it was. So I didn't think the visuals were all that bad. I know people don't like them, but I actually think that they're not that bad. I just, I just wish that, I mean, the animation was fluid. And so there was that. It's just that, they really should have refined the art style more. But I did like it for what it was. I saw that they were what they were going for. Yeah, they didn't go far enough. That's basically my point. Like, I liked the style that they were going for, but it did feel incomplete. It felt like the movie hadn't finished rendering. I'm sorry, it just felt that way to me. Like they really needed to refine everything more because like the movie did feel a bit incomplete in the visual department. So, but at least it wasn't hard to look at. It's just that it could have been better in that regard. This movie got beaten out by Hunger Games and Napoleon at the box office last week, and that's just sad. I should also point out that for the most part I didn't touch any of the trailers of this film, so I was going in mostly blind. I did watch one trailer. That was like that was like a trailer that was shown at the movie theaters because I saw a trailer of the movie right before I watched the Marvels movie, with Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan, and Monica. You know, there was a trailer of the movie Wish that played right before that movie was shown. I saw that trailer and I was like, yeah, this movie's gonna suck. Yeah, from the trailer, I could just tell, anyone could just tell really, that the movie was gonna suck. But I decided to give it a chance anyway. So I knew that people didn't like it. I knew from the first time I saw the trailer that it was gonna be a mess, but I decided to give it a chance and it just sucks. Sorry. But oh, you saw an early screen of it? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So the voice acting was good. I mean, I thought everyone was fine. I can't name a single bad performance. Everyone pretty much did what they were supposed to do. The main character, Asha, she sounded fine. The villain sounded fine. Everyone sounded fine. I can't really think of a bad performance. I mean, the script itself was shit. I'll get into that later. But the voice acting itself was fine. So I can't really think of anything wrong there. But I can't really say that that saves the movie because it just really doesn't. Because for one thing, Disney movies typically have, and I'm not talking about the live action remakes, Disney movies typically have good visuals and good voice acting, so this is kind of a given at this point. I mean, I'm so glad that the movie didn't fuck up in these two regards, regarding the visuals and the voice acting, at least not completely. But again, this really isn't saying much because Disney has usually been pretty good about these things. So let's talk about the negatives. The characters. So Maple brought up a point about a few of the characters. So I have quite a number of negatives as you can see here. Yeah, like I went off on this movie. I'm sorry. Like I have like three fucking slides worth of negatives here. Where do I start? Where do I start? Because I have so much to. I have so much. Why don't we talk about the characters first? Let's do that. Since Maple brought up the characters, let's talk about the characters first. So this entire bullet point here. Let's talk about the characters first. So Asha, she's the protagonist of the film. Um, and oh my fucking god, she is such a basic bitch. She's a basic bitch. She's basically the generic, quirky teenage girl protagonist that you see in a lot of Disney movies, like Tangled and Frozen and Encanto. And I'm just like, Disney, fam, do something different for a change. Stop reusing tropes in your films and do something else for a change. Which actually, let me see, was that in the yeah, see, so I'm gonna probably go like a little out of order here, but damn, I need to bring this up because Disney in this movie this movie is basically this it can be summarized in one sentence. In one word, tropes. That's all this movie is, just tropes. Generic Disney tropes at that. So we got the quirky, adorable, energetic, spunky, idealistic teenage girl. Check. That's what Asha is. She's just a basic bitch. She's a basic bitch. Like, she doesn't really have a she has no unique personality. I refuse to call whatever she has a personality. It's personality, but it's so manufactured. Like they were like, okay, let's just throw a bunch of generic teenage girl protagonist tropes and cliches, and boom, we got Asha. That's all she is. And she's not funny either. Like even if she had been a cliche, even if she, I mean, even though she's a cliche character, like I would have at least liked her somewhat if she had been funny. She's not. She's not funny. She tries to be funny, but she's not. Like at one point there was this lame ass joke where they were trying to play up the whole quirky, adorkable factor of her character, where she was talking to her best friend, whose name I literally forgot because her friends are so forgettable in this film, but we'll get to that later. At one point she's just acting all nervous. She runs to the kitchen of the king's castle and she's acting all nervous and she's talking to her friend. And she's all like, "It should look like a droopy, like was it droopy?" I'm just like, bitch, stop. Just stop. You're not cute. You're not funny. You're not endearing. You're just annoying. Shut the fuck up. Although to be fair, they do. This does get played down. That annoying part of a character does get played down, like in the second half of the film. But in the first half, she tries so hard to be a discount Rapunzel, and I'm just like, fam, it's not working. It's not. Sorry, but it's just not. It's like, oops. Like she's not bad. She's just so generic. She's a basic bitch. Oh, hi, Andrew. And Kind Garen Patrick, hi. I'm just like, fam, stop. It felt like the Disney equivalent of Mad Libs. There you go. That's basically what it was. This is that's basically what this film was. Sorry. No, I didn't even eat any snacks at the theater. I ate right before going, so I didn't need to like get any snacks. Fuck that. I could have, but it's like I wasn't hungry. Yeah, she just doesn't stand out as her own character. I'm sorry, but she just doesn't. Which is sad because she actually had the potential to be an interesting character, but the execution was shit. You like my Just Dance videos? Thank you, guys. Thank you, Andrew. So, yeah, sorry, but Asha is a basic bitch. The basicity of this bitch is unfathomable to me. Like, could they not come up with any ideas for a character that would have made her stand out from all the other Disney, uh, from all the other teenage girl protagonists in Disney films? Because she's just basic. And her friends are even more basic. If you thought Asha was basic, no, her friends are even more basic because they're basically the Dollar Tree version of the seven dwarves from Snow White. That's basically what they are. They were meant to be a tribute to the seven dwarves, which I, for some reason, didn't notice at first. I guess because I was just really bored with the film and I just found those characters so damn forgettable. No joke, I actually did almost sleep during the first half of the film. I was like, I'm falling asleep. Let me just stand up. And it's a thing that I was in the back, so that way nobody could see me. I was like the only person in the back row. So I was like, let me just stand up so I don't fall asleep. But anyway, yeah, this film was just that boring. But yeah, Asha's friends were basically the Dollar Tree version of the Seven Dwarfs. They were from the bargain bin. Um, they were based on the Seven Dwarfs, but which was not necessarily a bad thing. Like you can make an idea like that work, but they didn't. Disney just failed to make the idea work because these characters were just so forgettable and flat and boring, and they were just there, and I was like, okay, why are these characters here? And I literally forgot what their names were, except for Simon. Simon, I remember, who was basically this movie's version of Sleepy from the Seven Dwarves. But that was it. Like I remember what the characters looked like. I remember what their personalities were, but I don't remember their names except for Simon. So I will say the one that actually seemed the most interesting to me was the shortest one, who was basically this movie's version of Grumpy, because he actually did say a few interesting things throughout the film. He was basically the pessimist of the group and the grumpiest one, and that actually could have been an interesting. That actually could he actually could have been an interesting character in that regard because the movie was about supposedly it was about believing so that just believing your dreams enough can make them come true. Like if you believe really hard enough and work hard at your dream, you can make it happen. This character could have been a good contrast to that to help the movie have a more nuanced message. But no, he ended up being the butt monkey of the entire thing. So, oops. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, what a waste of a character. And he was pretty sassy too. He was actually the most interesting one, but even he fell flat. Short. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, so oops. Not gonna lie, I never knew that this movie existed until you mentioned that you were gonna watch it. Yeah, that's fair because honestly, this movie, I think it had. I'm not sure about this. I could be wrong, but I think it had poor marketing. I just think it did because honestly, I barely knew this movie existed even before I went to watch it. Like the FNAF movie, I knew that. I knew about that for a while. Um, but Wish, no. I mean, I kind of did, but it's just like I knew, like it's just a movie I just didn't, I just barely paid any attention to. So, yeah. Disney, good stories are aimed and we're full of stormtroopers. Are you sure? But yeah, um, let's see. Okay, hold on. There are a few things in the chat here I want to. Oh no, it's the stream buffering? Is it buffering? It is buffering. It's buffering. Oh no. Oh no. Did I pick a bad time to stream? I probably did. Fuck me. That's not good. Is it? Oh my god. Oh my god, why is it buffering? I hate buffering. Oh my god. Seriously, I hate. You can see why. Oh my god, fuck this. I only knew Wish existed because of JD 2024. Oh my god. Okay, let me just hang on. Oh, okay. I think it's fine now. I think it's fine now. I think it's fine now. Okay, yeah, it looks to be fine now. But I don't know, like, I don't know exactly where I stopped before the stream started chugging, because I don't want to like have you guys miss anything I said. So I don't know exactly what the last thing was that I said before the stream started going like that. I guess, I guess I'll just keep going. But yeah, basically, Josh's friends were um the Seven Dwarfs, but like the bootleg version. And the shortest character could have been the most interesting one because he was the one who was the most pessimistic of the group. I was like, don't expect your wish to come true. Don't get your hopes up too much. Your wish might not come true, which could have been an interesting contrast to the overall optimistic vibe of the film, where it's like, if you believe hard enough, your wishes can come true. But no, unfortunately, that character ended up being made fun of throughout the entire film. It was basically the butt monkey. It's just, yeah, oops. Anyway, that's that. Now let's talk about the villain. Okay. Now you have a character here that could have been interesting. He had an interesting there was an interesting idea for him. A guy who could grant wishes, any wishes, but he also which gave him immense power but also immense responsibility because he doesn't want to because you can't grant everyone's wish because some wishes out there are going to be dangerous, which the movie points out. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we have some interesting, we have some interesting potential here for conflict. Um, it didn't happen. So I'm not trying to be mean. I know it sounds like I'm being mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but this movie is just so fucking it's so flat. But like, yeah, like Like the villain seemed to be nuanced at first, where he was like, I can grant people's wishes, but I need to be careful to grant the right ones because if I grant every single one, things might go wrong, and I don't want that. And I think other stories have actually done the idea pretty well. I can't name any off the top of my head, but I'm sure they exist out there. But this movie was not one of them. So because literally this entire idea is dropped like almost as soon as it had been brought up, it was dropped. And and then this guy goes on to being a full on evil character, like just straight up, unapologetically, 100% evil, which is fine. You can have characters like that. You can have villains be like just evil. Not they don't need to be. They don't necessarily need to be sympathetic. They don't necessarily need to be complex. They just need to be a villain, good villain, and it's okay to have a villain that's just evil. But the thing is that this guy wasn't set up like that from the very beginning. He was actually set up as somebody who wanted to help people, but just didn't want to abuse his power. But unfortunately, the movie threw that aside and basically made him a fucking megalomaniac. So I was like, okay, okay. I mean, if you can't even pick a fucking idea to go with in your movie, then I think that's a sign that you probably should not make the movie in the first place. So yeah, I'm sorry, but the villain just sucked, and he was also dumb as fuck. He was because like at the beginning of the movie. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Actually, no, wait, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm actually wrong about that point. I'm wrong about that point. Never mind. Because I was about to point out something, but it was actually wrong. Never mind. I don't know. I thought it was correct, but it's not. Um, so I feel like there was another reason as to why I called him stupid, but now I can't remember what it was. Oops. Um, shit. Oh, I will forget it. I'll just erase that. Sorry. But my previous point still stands. It's like he could have been an interesting, great character, but he just wasn't. Sorry, not sorry. Maybe I'll remember why I called him stupid later, but I honestly forgot. Oh well, I don't want to risk being incorrect, so I'll just take that out. Anyway, the Queen, like, she's so basic and irrelevant. Like, why is she even there? Like, she did nothing of importance. Like, she's basically like under the king's thumb, in that he has complete power over her, but she barely does anything to defy him. Like she teams up with Asha and her friends to stop the king from becoming too powerful, and um, that's it. That's it. And she barely even does anything. All she does is tell him that, oh, Asha's out in the forest. You should go out and look for her. And because Asha at that point had been she was a wanted she was a wanted person in the kingdom. So, and that's literally all she does. It would have been interesting if the queen had had some way to put a stop to the king's plans, or at least do some sort of hindrance to his plans. Like maybe her magic could somehow counteract his, like kind of like a checks and balance system, like a power balance system or whatever. So it's like the king's powerful but not too powerful, and so his wife is the only one who could actually put up any sort of resistance against him. So that could have been interesting, and would have made her more important in the plot. I like how, in the Mario series, Peach's magic can actually nullify Bowser's magic. So it was actually stated in I believe, the manual of the very first Mario game. But yeah, like that could have been something here. It would have made the queen more important, would have made her more of a threat to the king, but she's just kind of there. Sorry. I almost forgot there was a queen in this movie. See, you proved my point. Exactly. She's so forgettable. I did like that one song with him when he was collecting all the wishes, to be honest. Which one was it? Was it is this the thanks I get? Because I didn't like that song. Or was it the one he was singing with Asha? Because that one I actually kind of liked. That yeah, I'll talk about how much I don't like the music later because I think the soundtrack's a mess, but we'll get to that later. Um, then again, there are a lot of things about this movie that I've already forgotten about. That's fair. So I did talk about this earlier in in the stream, but um like I'm going to talk about it more in depth here. The movie was littered with references of past Disney movies like Peter Pan, and there was like Peter Pan was one of them. Actually, the movie made two references to Peter Pan, not just one. Um, like one at the towards the beginning and one towards the end. Um, I forgot there was another move. There was another reference it made, but I can't remember what it was. Shit, I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was. I think it was a reference to Sleeping Beauty, either Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. Well, Snow White did have the reference with with the whole Seven Dwarfs shit, with Asha's friends being like basically a different version of the dwarves. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a different reference. But I think the movie referenced the Sleeping Beauty at one point. I don't remember fully, but whatever. It basically there were references though, several references to past Disney movies, but I felt like the movie was more about just like throwing a bunch of Disney crap into it than just, trying to tell an original story. Because the story isn't very original. So, yeah, like this movie, it, I kind of feel like this. Actually, no, that's not really that's not, never mind. Forget what I was about to say. Um, I don't think that's really fair to say, but anyway, yeah, like the movie was trying so hard to cram a bunch of Disney shit in it, like referencing as much crap as it could, but at the end of the day, it felt soulless and really didn't tell its own story, which is what people came to the movies to see, an original story from Disney, but we didn't get that. And as I pointed out earlier, this movie was not a good way to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary. Sorry. I honestly didn't even know that this movie was going to be an anniversary celebration until I saw the movie. And I was like, oh, this was supposed to be an anniversary celebration? Oops. Damn, that sucks. Damn, that's not a good. Why Walt Disney is turning in his grave? He's like spinning in his grave. He's just like, it's just. I'm imagining that. Like, I'm imagining Walt Disney just fucking like convulsing in his grave. I'm like, this is not how you celebrate someone's 100th anniversary. It bombed just like Truth or Square did for SpongeBob. Damn. Oh yeah, there was a short called the Once Upon a Studio short, which I forgot to watch before doing the stream. Fuck. I was gonna watch it, but I forgot. Oh damn. Before I heard it was good. Like I just haven't watched it. I forgot to watch it. Which, to be honest, I'm surprised I didn't play before this movie. Yeah, that actually would have been better. That would have made more sense to do. It's on Disney Plus, by the way, if anyone wants to watch it. Okay. I literally forgot about that. I was gonna watch it just before the stream, but I forgot. But that's okay. Like this movie was like the scene from Ralph Breaks the Internet where all the things that Disney owned got referenced, but that's like the whole movie here. Exactly. Like with Ralph Breaks the Internet, there were references to other Disney films, but they didn't feel forced or abundant. I mean, overabundant. Like they weren't like throughout. They didn't like happen throughout the entire freaking movie like in Wish, and they didn't feel forced and excessive like in Wish. So Ralph Breaks the Internet actually used this reference as well. Like I'm not against the idea of references, of course, just that with Wish, that's literally all there is to this movie. Because as Maple said earlier in the chat, let me scroll up. I honestly didn't fully understand the wish concept of this movie. We're gonna get to that because that's actually the very first bullet point of the negatives I have here regarding the world building, which is, to be really honest, non-existent. Or rather, it's not so much that it's non-existent; it's just very underdeveloped. So it's almost non-existent. Anyway, let's go on to the first bullet point. Uh, let's see. Yeah, let's just go on to the first bullet point. So the world building. Again, there really wasn't much of it. Like it's supposed to be this kingdom called Rosas. Not the best name. It's not terrible, but not the best name. In my opinion. But anyway, Rosas, this kingdom. So so the people that live in that kingdom, they they make a wish to the king at some point, and the king, keeps their wish. Like he collects people's wishes in some chamber in this room or what the fuck ever. And at certain points during the year, like once a month, um, and we'll get to why we'll get to the timing of the wish granting later. But he grants them once a month, and if you're lucky enough, he might grant your wish. And that's it. That's really it. That's all the world building there is. Like, oh yeah, and the movie also explains that he wanted to he came that the king came from a crappy background. He suffered loss. I forgot exactly what his tragedy was, nor do I care to go back and look. But he wanted to learn magic to make people's lives better, so that they didn't have to suffer like he did. I think that was his backstory. And I was like, okay, that's okay. So they were, again, which proves my point that they were going for a morally gray character here, a nuanced character, but they threw that out during the second half of the film. So, oops. But anyway, going back to the world building. So again, that's really it. Like, witches are granted once a month, and that's it. That's all there is to the world building. Oh, and there's also, well, I guess I should wait because that's the third bullet point I was going to talk about. But let's talk about the first bullet point. So, okay, so again, that's really all there is to the world building, and it's not even just that. So there's also this fucking star character that shows up after Asha makes a wish. I forgot what her wish was. She makes a wish after she asks the king, "Hey, can you grant my grandfather's wish?" And he says, "No." Asha's and then he literally tells Asha that most of the wishes never come true. And I'm just like, okay, that's why I called him stupid. Now I realize why I called him stupid because he literally told Asha like exactly how the system worked, which backfired on him because she was the one who ended up stopping him. And that's why I called him stupid. Now I remember. Sorry, it's just this movie is such a clusterfuck that it's hard for me to remember exactly why I hate it sometimes. Anyway, that's why I call him stupid because he literally told the protagonist his fucking plan. Which it's not necessarily a bad thing to do. Like villains can do that, but do it in a way that doesn't fuck you over. Just saying. Anyway, but yeah, nothing is ever really explained here. Like at one point, there's a star character who shows up and basically, after Asha makes a wish, like she wants people's wishes to come true or whatever, especially your grandfather's wish or whatever. And then she wishes upon a star in the sky. Haha, Disney tropes. And because other movies haven't done that. Cinderella. Anyway, um, and then the star character comes out of nowhere, and it can't talk. It can't. It's not a. It's just a star. It's not human or animal or anything like that. It's just a star, and it it's built. It's supposed to help Asha, like return the people's wishes back to um the people, like return them to the people. And I'll explain why she's doing that later. But she basically wants to defy the king. and the star is here to help her do that supposedly. But the thing is that the star, what exactly is its abilities? Because throughout the movie, all it just does is make animals talk and bring things to life. That's literally all it does. Like it, like I don't, it doesn't do anything really. Like it has magical abilities, but they're barely ever explained, and we barely see them. Like it's just like, I mean, we see them throughout the film, but it's like there aren't very many. All it really can do is just make animals talk and sing, and that's it. That's all we see it do. Oh, and it can make plants grow or some shit like that. And you can even make animals grow. So it has magical abilities, but they're never really explained. So I mean that kind of just makes the character kind of flat and shallow. Because it's like, why do you guys need this star to help you if you can't even explain why it's so useful in the first place? I'm just saying. So Henry Kissinger. I don't know how to pronounce that. Died at 100 years old. Damn. I don't even know who that is, if I'm going to be honest. I've heard of that. That name does seem familiar. I've heard of that name, but I don't remember who that is. I don't know who that is. But damn, he lived a full life, a fucking full century, just like Disney. Oh, he's an American diplomat, Nobel winner, politician, etc. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard that name. I just don't remember what the guy who the guy was. So okay, so let me go further with the messy world building here. Let me explain it further. So why are wishes only granted once a month? Like why only once a month? I just realized I talked about the fourth bullet point here, but I won't go back to it. Anyway, why are the wishes granted only once a month? Like why once a month? Like I can understand not granting them like every day, but why once a month? Like why not at least like once a week or maybe twice a week? Like why once a month? Like because that's like 12 wishes per year, and I'm like that's not really a lot. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, is there some sort of limitation to the king's magic in that regard? Because I would have been fine with that. Maybe the king can't. For maybe there was a story related reason as to why the king can't, grant wishes more often than once a month. But the movie again doesn't fucking explain shit. So, and it's weird because like literally right after, like I don't know, I don't know. It feels like I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Like I was about to say something, but then I was like, wait, no, that's not right. But like, it doesn't seem like there's any limitation as to how often the king can grant wishes. He basically just does it once a month because just because. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. The magic in this universe in general is just not explained very well. So I'm sorry. He was apparently not a great person. Now, ooh, shit. Damn, I did not know that about Henry Kissinger. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his last name. English is hard to pronounce at times. Although that I'm sure I don't even know if that name is even like an English name or whatever. I don't know what name that is, but you know what I mean. So I think someone's wish just came true. But anyway, okay. So another thing that doesn't make any sense in this film. So when Asha asked the king, um, if he could grant her grandfather's wish. Oh, by the way, her grandfather, it was her grandfather's birthday. Yeah, he had turned 100 years old. Get it? Because, it's a 100-year anniversary celebration of the movie. Yeah, yeah, this movie's not slick. But anyway, um, he asked the king to grant her grandfather's wish. He said no because he felt it was like just too dangerous. But when you look at the wish itself, it doesn't seem all that dangerous. And you do see it in action at the very end of the movie, and it's really just the grandfather playing music to people, making them happy. So I'm like, okay, what was so dangerous about it? Like I thought the grandfather was like going to be some sort of conspiracy theorist or some anarchist or some sort of revolutionary that wanted to like throw like help the people overthrow the king or some shit. No, he just wants to be a damn musician. So I'm like, bitch, like, see, like, what's so dangerous about that? Like, and it's not even just his wish. Like the other wishes that the king has, none of them seem dangerous at all. So it's like, okay, if you're worried about some wishes being so dangerous to grant, then show us some dangerous wishes that you don't want to grant. But the movie never does that, so it's I don't know. It feels like the movie wants to do certain things, but just doesn't have the courage or balls to do it, or it just doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. I'm tempted to think it's the latter because the movie story is all over the place. So another thing that also doesn't make any damn sense. If you like when you give your wish to the king, you tell the king your wish. He gives it forms. It takes this magical form of a blue crystal ball that the king takes from you. You forget it when that happens. Like once you tell the king your wish and he takes your wish, you forget what the wish is, and I don't know why. It makes no sense to me. Like if you forget your wish after you tell it to the king, so you want to like just I don't like what why. Because everyone in the town, loves the wish ceremony. They're all excited about it. It's just like, oh, the king's gonna grant my wish next. I hope so. I hope so. And it's like, but you don't even know what it is. So why the fuck are you so excited about it? I don't. Like why make people forget the wish right after they make it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Not to mention that it's implied that once you forget the wish, you feel sort of like, or maybe I don't know if I think it's implied. I don't know because again, the movie is all over the place with the story. Like once you make the wish, you kind of just I don't know. It feels like you kind of just like lose your passion. Like you just feel empty inside or whatever. Or I think that's after you destroy the wish. I don't know because like Simon, one of Asha's friends, who ends up turning on her because the king ends up you know um controlling him. Well, sort of, because he actually goes to the king and betrays Asha. But like once Simon makes his wish, he starts, he ends up having this like, this all this this gloomy, dead inside personality. I think that's implied after you. The movie implies that after you make your wish, you kind of start to feel like that. But then later, it's not actually that, but just the fact that because the king ends up destroying the wishes to feed power into himself. So it's not the wish making that makes you depressed inside, but your wish is being crushed. Like, which is it? Because the movie is telling me two different things, and I have no idea which one is correct. I'm tempted to think that it's actually the destruction of the dreams that makes you feel dead inside, but the movie didn't say that at first. Or maybe I misinterpreted something? I don't know, because the movie's themes are all over the place. So, but my point still stands that, like, why be so excited about a wish that you don't even know about? I don't get it. I just, um, oh, the G is pronounced like a J. Henry Kissinger. Okay, thank you, ACW. Thank you. And now rest in piss Bozo's trending on Twitter. Oh, hey, Diamond Crosby. And yeah, I saw that you posted a new run on the Crash Insane trilogy. I will see that later. This movie has the elements to be an instant Disney classic, but it just never comes together because everything feels half baked and half assed. That's basically what this movie is. There wasn't a lot of effort put into it. Although to be fair, if you I watched a few reviews and there were a few mentions of, ideas that the movie had a few different ideas at first, like both the queen and king were actually going to be an evil couple, which would have been interesting actually. Again, it would have made the queen that would have been another interesting way to make the queen a compelling character, like make her just as evil as the king. And apparently, the star character, that little that little plush doll, what the fuck ever, um, he was actually meant to be. He was originally going to be a shape shifting character. Like originally, he took on a human form. So, and then he took on other forms, and then he ended up being like just a star that could be marketed as a plush doll. So that actually seemed pretty interesting, but then they went and reduced the character to a plush doll. Okay. It feels like Raya. It feels like it feels like a similar thing happened to the dragon character in Raya, because if you actually do look at the concept art for Sisu, the dragon character, she actually did look more dragon like. But then wait, what? Did the whole thing go down? Don't tell me it did. No, I don't think it did. Or are you talking about something else? Well, okay, anyway. I feel like a similar thing happened to Raya in The Last Dragon, where the dragon character, and if you look at the concept art for her, she actually looked more dragon-like at the beginning, but then her design was reduced to just a cuter, a cuter, more mammal-like design. Like she looked more like an overgrown ferret or whatever, because she wanted to be because she wanted to be I guess they wanted her to be I guess they wanted Cece to be more marketable. I don't fucking know. But that's pretty much what happened with Star's character. Like an interesting concept that was dumbed down to a marketable concept. And the same thing happened with Sisu and Raya and the Last Dragon. So I don't know why Disney does shit like this. It's clear that all they care about is money. I mean, again, I mean, it's not. They're not the only one. They're not the only company out there that feels this way. But as I said, Disney likes to take it up to 11. It's like because Disney wasn't always like this. They weren't always like this before they actually cared about the products they were putting out. That's why we had so many classics like Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, Aladdin, Mulan, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I just, but then you have, but then you have things like Wish nowadays. I'm just like, why? Because like it's Disney could still do pretty well as they did back in the good old days. I mean, you have movies like Tangled and Kanto and Coco, which were great, but then you have movies like Wish and Ryan the Last Dragon, and it's just like no, just no. It's like Disney, get it together. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Maple. This whole movie does feel as if it had been written by an AI. It feels like that. It really does feel like that. Because again, you have this mishmash of potentially interesting ideas that just did not gel together very well. It's as if Disney had asked an AI to just do the story, the to write the script for the movie, and this was what we came up with. It's yeah, exactly. It's like if you ask the AI to write the most typical by the numbers Disney flick imaginable, this is what you would get as a result. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's a very typical by the numbers film, which I'll get into in a bit. Oh, Coco was from Pixar, not Disney specifically. Okay, that's fair. But yeah, like Disney could still make great films. They just don't care. Whereas companies like Illumination never really cared. But Disney used to care, but now they don't. Whereas Illumination never really cared. Um, for the most part. So I think Yeah, this movie's world building is just shit. I'm sorry. I tried to give it a chance. I tried to understand. I was like, maybe am I missing something here? Because I watched other reviews and everyone was pretty much saying the same thing that I was feeling. So I just don't know. This movie is just so mediocre and mediocre at best. Not even at worst. At best, mediocre at best. A hot, cliched AI written mess at worst. Okay, so the music. Okay, so this it's rare that I say this about a movie because normally I find movie soundtracks tolerable at the very least. Some of them I really like Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse. Others I just find okay, like the soundtrack from Captain Marvel, but like the Captain Marvel movie, but then you have Wish, which was like the music, no, just no. It's just like I'm like who I'm sorry, but the kind of music that the film has just doesn't fit with the film at all. It's very pop oriented. I don't think it works for this film because this film doesn't take place. Like the setting is clearly like it's a kingdom. It has a castle and everything. It's not really modern. It's not really very modern. So I just find it weird that kind of music that pop music like to me it just doesn't fit this film. It just doesn't. And the song, and even if you were to ignore the clashing of the genre of music with the film setting, and I'm sure some people are probably going to disagree with me on that. That's fine. That's just how I feel. The songs themselves aren't even very good. For the most part, they're not. They're forgettable at best, and just outright bad at worst. There were a few that I liked. I mean, I liked the one where Ash and the King sang together. That one was nice. Everything else, no. And like especially like that song, "This Is the Thanks I Get." I didn't like that song. And that song where Ash and all her friends were banding together and singing about overtaking the king, and then the queen joins him at the end. That one I didn't like either. And there were forgettable ones, like the song that Asha sings when she runs away in the forest after the king says no, you can't grant. I'm not granting your grandfather's wish. And then she has an argument with her grandfather after that, and then just runs away. That's the song she sings during that segment in the woods. Also forgettable. I don't even remember what it sounded like. It's just music. The music was just not very good in this film. This movie will be auctioned off as an NFT after your viewing. I'm sorry, but it's like, yeah, exactly. There are like only two songs, one or two songs I actually liked, but everything else was either forgettable or just outright bad. And that song with the dancing chickens and shit. I don't even remember what that one sounded like. It's just this movie. Ugh, so mid. From Disney, what the fuck? Oh, oh wait, hold on. Let me read these. But yeah, like the music overall was just not very good. Sorry. Because and again, this is I hate saying that because normally I don't have a problem with movie soundtracks. I think they're generally okay at the very least, but this one just sucked. Anyway, yeah, I don't think the soundtrack's going to grow on me as time goes by either. I don't think it will. Sorry. I think it might be time to start coming up with a new name for this era of Disney because we are clearly not in the revival era any longer. I agree. That's honestly why when I shared my rankings of the modern Disney movies and uh took out the revival era entirely, I would honestly argue that this era of Disney basically peaked in 2016 with the one-two punch that was Zootopia and Moana. The one main exception is Encanto, of course. Yeah, I agree. Like Disney did make a few good films. Like I mean, I was gonna say I want to say Turning Red, although to be fair, Pixar made that one, but I would still count it anyway. Um, But like, but yeah, like you have Moana and Tangled and Encanto and Zootopia. So Disney still has it. They just don't give a shit. Under what circumstances are you ever going to listen to this movie's soundtrack again? Exactly. Yeah, because it's again because it's just very shit. I'm mostly talking about movies from Disney Animation Studios and not Pixar. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, sorry, trash music. Okay, so as I said earlier, and these two are probably my. I think this is these. I think this slide has like these two bullet points. This slide has these two bullet points, which are probably the biggest issues I have with the film. So again, the movie has several generic Disney tropes. You got the quirky, adorable teenage girl, check. Talking animal sidekick, check. Non-human companion with magical powers, check. Singing, talking, and dancing animals, check. And to be fair, it's not necessarily a bad idea to have common tropes in your story because tropes are not necessarily bad or good for that matter. They're just tools, and it's okay to use tropes that are common and tried and true. But this film doesn't do anything special with them. Like it's how you use the tropes that matters, but this film doesn't do anything special or unique with them. So, again, as Maple pointed out, this film feels very by the numbers. It feels like a very by the numbers film where we have to have all these typical Disney tropes and then that's it. Nothing more. This film has almost no substance. Going back to the talking animal sidekick point, the talking animal sidekick was annoying. He wasn't funny. I don't care that his voice sounds cool. I mean, his voice did sound cool, but that was really the only thing I liked about the character. Like, he was just not very charming or interesting or funny. Sorry, not sorry. The non-human companion with magical powers. The star plush doll shit thing that I talked about earlier. Its name is really just Star. Yeah, whatever. I know, not the best name ever, not the most exciting or interesting or unique name ever, but that was the name of the character. It's cute. It's friendly. It's very it acts like a child. Um, but it's not a very interesting character. Sorry. Singing, talking, and dancing animals. These didn't even need to be in the film. They didn't. They didn't add anything to the film. Like there's this whole musical segment with the animals in the forest, and I was just like, are we really gonna do this? Are we really gonna have this in this movie when these animal characters don't even do much? I mean, they do help out Asha against the king like towards the end of the film at one point, but that was like it. Other than that, they have no reason to be there. So I was like, Disney, fam, like you're really like they literally just played that trope straight, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they didn't do anything special with it. So it was like y'all are just throwing tropes at the wall and hoping and just seeing what sticks. That's what you're doing. No, you're not just throwing tropes at the wall. You're throwing ideas at the wall. Even the Frozen movies had me listening to some songs every now and then. Yeah, Frozen has some good songs. Like I still remember several songs from Frozen that I still like to this day. With Wish, I don't get any of that. Moana did take a lot of similar tropes as well, but they still did them relatively well and found a perfect balance for all of them. I agree. Moana was actually a good film. I actually liked it. And the animation, yeah, the animation was amazing. I just loved the animation for Moana. It was beautiful. It took my breath away. And Moana did have a lot more energy and heart to it. I actually did like the film. It wasn't my favorite film. My favorite film of the recent era, but I still liked it a lot. But this movie is just so soulless in comparison, and it's like Moana had a lot of common tropes, but used them pretty well. This movie doesn't do that. So, oops. So yeah, this movie is so tropey. Anyway, and now let's get to the second bullet point here, which is probably my biggest complaint in the entire movie. Because no joke, while watching the movie, I was genuinely trying to figure out the theme was in this film, or themes, because a film can have more than one theme, of course. I couldn't find any. I even watched reviews. I'm like, okay, maybe you guys know what the theme is. Maybe I missed something here. What's the theme? And then they're like, no, this movie doesn't have a theme. I'm like, exactly. This movie doesn't have a theme. It doesn't have a message. It doesn't have anything. I think I think there's attempted like to come up with a message. Like, feel like one of the intended messages was you can achieve your dreams by yourself instead of just like not instead of just having somebody just do them for you or waiting for something to happen. You can make it happen yourself by believing hard enough and working hard enough for it, which is a fine message. But but that clearly was not executed very well. It just really wasn't. Because the thing is that like literally the movie throughout the entire like the movie already had the message of oh just make a wish and the king will grant it. So it's like I don't know. So I don't know. It's like I don't know. I'm trying to. So the thing is that the movie never really outright said you can achieve your dreams by yourself. So what exactly what I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm trying to articulate exactly what the theme might be, but I can't do it. It's one. So you can achieve your dreams by yourself, okay, but the movie never said you couldn't. So what exact? So I guess that's not the message. You shouldn't get your hopes up too high. I mean, I think that was a possibility because there was one character, one of Asha's friends, who was the pessimist. He was like, "Don't get your hopes up too high. The king might not grant your wish." So I was like, oh, "Okay, so there's going to be a nuanced message where it's like you can believe hard enough, but just remember that your dream might not always come true. Like you can't always aim for the stars or whatever. Sometimes it's okay to pick a target you can hit." But that didn't happen either because the, that because nobody ever listens to the short guy who had that attitude. And it's like I'm just like I don't know. I'm trying my hardest to figure out what the theme is, but I can't. I can't because these two could have been very good messages for the movie to have. These I'm sorry, but like this movie could have actually been a good movie. It had an interesting idea. A guy who could grant wishes, like, and a girl who wants to make everyone's wishes come true, but might not be able. But let's deal with the harsh reality that not everyone's wish is going to come true. Sorry, fam. That could have been interesting, but no, it didn't. The story was so bad that you couldn't tell exactly what it was about. Which is funny because this most Disney movies. I'm not talking about the live action remakes. Just forget about those for a moment. Most Disney movies have some sort of theme or message, like at least one. Sometimes just one, sometimes more than one, but one. Like, granted, that message isn't always delivered very well or executed very well. Like, Ryan and the Last Dragon, there was a message about trust. It wasn't executed very well, but at least there was a message. And then you have movies like um, Mulan, where there was a message that was executed very well. Classic Mulan, I mean, not the horrible live action remake where it was like just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't do great things. Just like because women even though women may not be physically as strong as guys, it doesn't mean that they can't do anything. They still have their own strength. They can still do things. Like they can still fight just as hard as guys. So that was another message. But this movie, what the hell is its message? What is Wish's message? Because as Maple said in the chat, like if you were to ask him or me or anyone else what 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 this movie is about, or hell, even what happened in it, because again, the story's all over the place. No, none of us would be able to tell you. Sorry, I tried to give this movie a chance, but its themes are all over the place. The world building is shit. Um, the characters are all shit. Like, it's just a hot mess all around. I think I covered just about everything. So, oops. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. So I think I covered just about all the issues I had with this film. And yeah, after watching a few reviews, I was like, I'm glad people feel the same way I do because this movie is just so fucking mid at best. And I'm not and as I said earlier, got bored watching it. Like I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. Let me think about my own stories I'm writing for a moment. Because I was like, I'm bored. Let me think about something else for a moment. And I almost fell asleep at certain points. So yeah, that movie was that boring to me. Sorry. In my rankings of the modern Disney movies, I put it above Strange World and Ralph Breaks the Internet, and that's it. Even then, I think that's being generous. I agree because honestly, I think Ralph Breaks the Internet is better than this movie. Like, I think it's worse in some ways, but honestly, I think it's better in other ways, and I think it's overall the better movie. But that's just my opinion because both movies aren't very good. But to me, but see, here's the thing: at least Ralph Breaks the Internet had a message behind it about your friends aren't always going to do what you want. It's okay for them to do what they want. You can still be friends even if you go off in different directions and have different aspirations and whatnot. You don't have to be with each other 24/7. So even though Ralph Breaks the Internet was a hot ass mess of a movie, and I actually liked the movie, so don't hate on me, but like I did like the movie, but like, well, at least sort of, well, sort of, but it sucked. Even though it sucked, it at least had some sort of message. Wish didn't have any. So, sorry. I gave Wish a chance, like, just like Maple did. We both gave it a chance, and it was just not good. Yeah, like Elemental and The Marvels got hate before they came out, but they actually weren't bad movies. Whereas Wish got hate before it came out, and ended up being a disaster. So, oops, and it's just annoying because it's like this was meant to be what makes this even all this even worse is that this was meant to be an anniversary celebration. It was meant to celebrate 100 years of Disney, and it failed spectacularly in that regard. Like if it had just been a regular Disney movie, people like I honestly would have my opinion of it would have been slightly better, but considering that it was supposed to be a tribute to Disney, no. I'm sorry, just no. I don't care that there were like the Disney references scattered throughout the films, even in the credits where you see plenty of silhouettes and appearances of characters, this classic Disney characters like Mickey Mouse and Peter Pan and Aladdin. I'm like I don't care. That's not enough to save the movie. This movie, on the other hand, did nothing for me whatsoever and had no staying power to speak of. I agree. I'll admit that when I first came out of this movie, it just left me with a shoulder shrug and thinking it was somewhat serviceable, but it has just gotten worse for me over time, or at least more forgettable. To think I was even thinking of playing this over Raya and Frozen 2, but nah, fam, this film was much worse than either one of those. I agree. Yeah, like you might not think this movie is all that bad at first, but when you start to unpack it and analyze it, it's it's a lot worse than you think. It's the movie that just keeps on giving, where it's like there are just so many problems with it, and you could tell that this movie just did not have any part in it. It felt soulless. Even more soulless than some of the live action remakes we've seen. I'm not gonna lie. Because some of the live action remakes are good, others are soulless. But this one is just this one was also soulless and it wasn't even a live action remake, so oops. Yeah, literally the only good thing about this film is the visuals to some extent, and the voice acting, and a few of the songs, and that's really it. If you like this movie, good for you. Most people didn't, but if you like it, good for you. Like, you can like a bad movie, it's fine. But I didn't. A very generous 2 out of 4 stars for me. I agree that's pretty generous. I would honestly, that's basically a 5 out of 10. I would honestly give it, I'm not even at the rating screen. I already want to give my ratings. I would give it, I think 2 out of 10 might be too harsh, but 3 out of 10, I think that's even too generous. I feel like maybe 2.5. I don't want to say two because I feel like that's too harsh. Maybe just a 2.5 or a three. Yeah, I'm being harsh with this film, but it's sorry, but it's just not very good. I do remember seeing some kids and parents enjoying themselves, even applauding at the end. Yes! So like applauding at the end. Wait, hey, and yeah, so, like it wasn't like everyone was clapping. I was like, yeah, I'm not joining on that clapping. Like I remember people clapping for the Marvels movie, which I enjoy, I clapped along with that. But with Wish, I was like, I'm not clapping. This movie doesn't deserve any applause from me. Fuck that. Yeah, fuck that. Other kids and parents seemed very bored by it, though. Right? I was bored by it. Again, I fell asleep like 5 times. I'm just guessing because I was trying my hardest not to sleep because I did not want to like go there and sleep through the whole film because that would have been a waste of time. Like, just damn, this movie is just so basic. Damn. For a movie that's supposed to act like as the 100th anniversary of Disney, it's just way below par, right? And Disney thought, oh, let's just throw in a bunch of references to Disney characters, and have a little credit sequence where we show off a lot of Disney characters, like characters from Brother Bear and the Little Mermaid. I'm like, no, stop, just stop, stop. It's not gonna work. That's not good enough. For Disney, do better. I'm like, why do people even clap for this? Because there are movies that I went to once where people didn't clap. There are movies like that, and I was just like, so you're not gonna clap for great movies, but you're gonna clap for a mediocre ass movie like Wish? Hmm. Good thing I didn't have to pay a lot for this movie. I think the movie ticket cost like only $6, so not including tax. So thank God for that. Anyway, yeah, fuck this movie. Sorry, it's just I don't I don't hate it. It just sucks. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, I have quite a bit of negatives here too, as you can see. Not as many as Wish, but oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, this film. See, when I went into to the movie theater, this film, I knew that people didn't like it. Some people didn't like it. I knew that some people didn't like it. Critics in particular were virtually negative towards it, but I decided to give it a chance anyway. And I will admit, I did enjoy it somewhat. It wasn't as bad as Wish, but it kind of sucked. Sorry. So my biggest problem with it, why don't I just cover the negatives first? Because I don't even want to I don't even want to I feel kind of heated about this. I'm just gonna jump right to the negatives. Why don't we just jump right to the negatives? Fuck that. Let's just do it. I need to go and rewatch all the Disney animated films because most of them I remember. Most of the classics I remember watching, although I don't remember the plots so much. I remember watching like The Fox and the Hound and um and Little Mermaid and all that stuff. Others I have never actually watched, like Brother Bear. I've never actually watched Brother Bear, believe it or not. So, and I barely remember The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I need to go back and rewatch all these classics, as well as some mediocre sequels like Mulan 2. And the like, yeah, I'm sorry, Mulan 2 was pretty mediocre. Not gonna lie. Anyway, but yeah, this movie. I know some people like this movie. A lot of people like this movie. A lot of fans like this movie because this movie does have a lot of fan service in it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But you know, I don't think that was enough to save the movie. So the movie follows the. I'm just gonna have a very basic synopsis here. The movie has it follows the it follows a character named Mike who was the same who has the same name as the security guard in the very first game, of course. Um, he he he's struggling to provide for his younger sister, whose name I forgot. I meant to look it up beforehand, but I forgot what her name is. I literally forgot. Nor do I care to look it up. But um, and his aunt, who's portrayed as an evil person for whatever reason. I don't remember what the exact reason was, if there even was a reason. She wants custody of Mike's younger sister because Mike is having trouble holding down a job, and it's due to his anxiety, I think, and his trauma from his younger brother disappearing all those years ago, which I kind of got annoyed with throughout the film, but we'll get to that later. Um, so so he gets a job as a security guard at Fazbear's, because why the fuck not? Well, it's called Five Nights at Freddy's, but what the hell ever. It's not called Fazbear's Pizza, but I don't care. So he gets a job there and finds out that strange shit is happening. There's also this police officer named Vanessa, yeah, the same who has the same name as that bitch from Security Breach, a game I hated, by the way. Um, So she's also connected to the restaurant or whatever. No, oh, it's basically, of course, it's basically Chuck E. Cheese, as you guys know, but a lot scarier and more unsettling. Um, but so like throughout his Mike's time at the fucking uh place, like he realizes that the animatronics are that they're coming to life. They come to life at night. Actually, not even just at night, during the day too. They can actually come to life during the day, but they come to life usually at night, and they seem to be possessed by children. And Vanessa already knows this, and you'll find out why later. Um, so at first, these animatronics don't seem all that threatening to Mike and his sister, but they eventually reveal that they actually want Mike's sister. They want to make her their one of them. So they want to kill her and stuff her in a suit, I'm guessing. Actually, no, that's exactly what happened. I'm sorry, like it's been a while since I last watched this movie, so I forgot a few things. But that is exactly what happens. They try to stuff her into a suit, but Mike saves her, fortunately. Um, so yeah, like oh yeah, and Afton shows up at the end, and he's basically revealed to be the big bad, and Vanessa, who's his daughter apparently, tries to stop him. He fucking stabs her ass, like he literally just stabs her. Um, and so Mike and his sister work together to turn the animatronics against Afton, who's in the Springlock suit, Spring Bonnie suit, Spring Trap suit, whatever. And the animatronics, attack Afton, and the Springlocks go off on his suit and kill him. And Mike and his sister and Vanessa escape the pizzeria. Vanessa goes to the hospital to get treated. Um, and and yeah, and then Mike and um his sister just continue their lives as normal. Although Mike's sister wonders if she'll ever see the animatronics again, and Mike's like, he doesn't want to outright say no, but he's like, you never know. And that's how the movie ends. And there's more to it than that, but like, I just do not care to explain everything. So, so okay, so that's actually a good point. Something brought up a good point in the chat. The fan service was crammed to like he felt like the fan service was crammed to the first 10 minutes, which I agree with. Which I do agree with that. Like it did feel crammed in, especially towards the beginning. Not so much towards the end, more like towards the beginning. So like I feel like it would have been better if the movie had spread that out a bit. So I don't even like, but but yeah, like there's definitely fan service in this film. So, as I was saying, even though the movie was marketed as a FNAF film, um, it didn't really feel like one. It just didn't. Because for one thing, Maple brought up a good point in the chat. I'll just skip to that right now. There was too much focus on the human characters, like Mike and his drama with his sister and his aunt and his missing brother and and okay, so apparently, as I said, there was this custody battle between Mike and his aunt. They both wanted custody of Mike's sister, and the thing is that I guess I'm going into this. This really goes into the second point here, but I guess I'll just mention it anyway. But like, I'll talk about it later. Actually, let me not talk about it right now. But yeah, there was like way too much focus on the human characters. Like we spent more time on Mike and his drama, his family issues, and his mental issues, and less on the fucking FNAF material. Like the animatronics and the restaurant and whatnot. Like we didn't focus on that as much as we should have. So it just really felt like um it just really felt like Mike and his sister featuring the FNAF animatronics. I refuse to call this movie Five Nights at Freddy's. It was more like Mike and his sister featuring the Five Nights at Freddy's cast. It kind of reminds me of the live action Tom and Jerry movie where Tom and Jerry were in the movie, but they were just side comedic side characters, and the story was more about the human characters. So it was really like the human characters featuring Tom and Jerry. This movie gave me that same vibe. So yeah, I just wasn't a fan of that. Like, if we had gotten more focus on the FNAF animatronics, like, if we had learned more about the kids, like how they died, how they got stuck to the suits, stuff like that. And if we had learned more about Afton because he's barely even in the film, which I'll get to in a moment, that would have that honestly would have fleshed out the story a bit more. Because I know the story wasn't like I know Mike was the main character, but I feel like he had more focus than he should have. Because again, this is supposed to be a Five Nights at Freddy's film, not a film that just had Five Nights at Freddy's in it. Because that's what it felt like. So, but yeah, going to the third point, Acton was barely even in the film. He showed up at the beginning of the film as someone who wants to give Mike a job at the pizza at the Freddy's the Five Nights at Freddy's restaurant. Like, but and he ends up being revealed as William Afton later. But like he shows up like during the last 10 minutes of the film as the antagonist. So he's barely even in the film, which is a disappointment because he's really the main villain. but he doesn't really show up very much. Now, granted, this is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you can have a villain like show up towards the end of a film and not have it be bad. Like, twist villains often work like that. But the thing is that, the thing is that Afton's not a twist villain. We already know who Afton is. So it's just like we already know who Afton is. There's really no point in not having him in the story for the like not not having him. There's really no point in having him be absent for the vast majority of the story. Like if he had shown up in like the third act, and then like I'm not even saying like he had to be like there from the very beginning. Like he could have just been like he could have shown up in like the third act and not just like the last minutes of the film, and that would have been better because I did want to see more Afton, but we didn't get that. Yeah, the whole movie really should have just taken place at the restaurant, which I thought was going to happen, but it didn't. Which brings me to my first point. Remember the gameplay mechanic of constantly checking the cameras and keeping the animatronics out? No, well, neither did the screenplay writers because that's barely even in the game in the movie. Like we do get a few scenes of Mike checking the cameras, but then he just dozes off because nothing's gonna happen. Let me just dream about my brother for the 13th billionth fucking time. Like the billionth time. Like I'm like, dude, we'll get to that later, but like the dude like obsesses over his brother way too much in this film. At one point, I was just like, okay, we get it. You're sad. Can you just move on already? Because I want to focus less on that and more on the animatronics. So let me add that as a plot point. Let me just do that because actually no, because it really technically falls under the second bullet point here, where again there was just too much of a focus on Mike and not enough of a focus on the FNAF stuff. And so honestly, I just got tired of Mike's trauma with his brother. I'm like, and so did my cousins. I went to see this film with my cousins, and some of them were all like, "Oh my god, I don't want to see this dream sequence again with his brother running away. I mean, not running away, being kidnapped by some guy in a car." Like, because I honestly got tired of seeing that. Like, it happened like I think at least 3 times in the film, and I was just like, okay, that's too much, too many times. Stop, please. I'm tired of seeing this scene again and again and again. So, but yeah, going back to this whole, gameplay mechanic of checking the cameras, keeping the animatronics out. Well, we don't really get that here because the animatronics don't really turn hostile against Mike and his sister until the very end of the story. Which, like, now I get that they wanted to like subvert expectations and do something different in this film, but I don't think this was the way to do it because these animatronics are known for wanting to kill people. Almost every animatronic in these games wants to kill you. So it's like, and with the way the movie was set up, it felt like you were actually going to see Mike, keep the animatronics out and try to keep his sister safe, but that didn't happen. That could have been interesting, but it didn't happen. And it was really only, and we really only see this like with some random security guard at the beginning of the film who saw the animatronics coming towards his office, and he decided to just book it and like run into a vent and try to escape, but Foxy got him. So that's the only time we ever actually see that mechanic with the keeping animatronics out in play. That's really it. We don't see any more of that. Yeah, exactly. The dream sequences got old very fast. I was tired of seeing them. My cousins and I were actually the only ones in the theater, so we were literally we were outright voicing our distaste of the dream sequences. We were like, come on, we've seen this already. Move the fuck on. But yeah, I agree with Maple that the movie really should have just taken place at the restaurant. And maybe whenever Mike had to leave, it would just cut to the animatronics themselves, then go on to the next night. That would have been interesting, but like maybe make it so that nothing happens for the first few nights for the most part, and then the third or so night, that's when shit starts happening, which kind of happens in the games, to be honest. So yeah, the aunt, Mike's aunt. We'll get to her in a moment because I agree that she is obnoxious. Yeah, Matthew Lillard, who played Aft in this movie, he was doing the original Scream movie and Shaggy in the live action Scooby Doo movies. Yeah, that was actually interesting. I didn't even notice that until a review I watched pointed it out. I was like, oh wow, okay. And what's better, the FNAF movie or the games? It's hard to say because none of them are neither is very good. Like the games aren't very good. You all know this. I've ranted about the games and how they're interesting, but they're all kind of broken. And I even did a rant with Tan Man about it at one point. But like, yeah, the games kind of suck. And the movie isn't really, I would not say it's, because see, the games are wildly inconsistent quality. Like some of the games are actually not bad, but some of them are. And the movie it's better than some of the games, I would say, but worse than other games. So yeah, that's honestly why I can't say this movie deserves a free pass for having a flat story and characters because the movie spends so much time on it. I agree. If it stuck strictly to those set pieces, animatronics, and scares for the majority of the film, I would give it a pass, but it doesn't really do that. Which is why, which is why this movie isn't a FNAF film. I refuse to call it one. I don't care how much fan service you put into it. The story itself is not fundamentally FNAF. It's not, at least to a large degree. So let me go to the next point. So the film has a big ass pacing issue. It has crappy pacing, and I'm sure some of you had noticed this. So the film had a habit of forgetting certain characters, as like Mike's aunt and Mike's babysitter. So Mike's aunt, as I said earlier, she's in this custody battle with Mike, and they both want to have custody of Mike's little sister. And Mike's aunt actually at one point conspires to like ruin Mike's life by she wants Mike's sister, of course, so she wants to ruin Mike's life by like conspiring to she literally hires people to trash the place that Mike works at. You know, the Finance of Freddy's restaurant. She hires people to go and trash it, and the babysitter even gets involved. Like she gets involved, but she's just a getaway driver though. But she still gets involved. And they're all like, okay, if we can trash the place and prove that Mike is actually a terrible security guard, then they'll fire him, and then he won't be able to support his sister anymore, and then I'll get full custody of her. That was Mike's aunt's plan. She's not a very likable character. She's just very obnoxious. She's not one of those characters that are evil, but you like them anyway. She's just evil and ugly and obnoxious. Ugly as in like just an ugly character, not ugly as in like physically, just an ugly character. So yeah, she was irritating and obnoxious. But the thing is that like all these characters, the babysitter, the aunts, the other people that worked with the babysitter and the aunts, like they all get killed by the animatronics at one point. Like the ant got killed by Golden Freddy after he appeared at Mike's house to take Abby back to the restaurant so that they could kill her by stuffing her in a suit. Um, and and also the babysitter and the other guys that worked with the ant that were hired to go and trash the restaurant, they all get killed by the animatronics. And the babysitter who went in there and looked for them because they were taking too long to come out, she gets killed too. Um, but the thing is that we never focus on these characters again. They're almost never brought up again. Like once they get killed, that's it. It's like Mike barely ever thinks, "Oh shit, what happened to the babysitter?" Like he wonders where the babysitter is at one point, but then it just gets dropped really quickly, and because he ends up having to take his sister to work, which makes sense. But it's like he never thinks about he just he like, but like the babysitter's never brought up again after that point, and the ants. who gets literally killed by Golden Freddy, or at least it's implied. Like she, we like Mike never even. I don't think Mike even talks about her after that point. Like the movie literally just forgets about all those villains, and I'm just like, okay, like what was the point of even having them there? Like I feel like the whole custody battle shit could have just been written out entirely. Like did it really even need to be there? I feel like it didn't actually need to be there. Like you could have just made it to where Mike, he was just trying to take care of his sister, but he was having problems holding on a job, and then he goes to go to that security guard position out of desperation. Like, did the custody battle really even need to be there? It honestly didn't need to. It didn't need to be there because it just like took up too much time in the plot, in my opinion. That time could have been spent exploring Afton as a character, which brings me to my next bullet point. Because we don't really get enough of an explanation about his character. Nor do we do so in the games, which is really frustrating because the games never really even explain. I think Sister Location did. I don't really remember, but most of the games don't really explain why Afton even wants to kill children. I just don't get it. I just really don't get it. This movie could have rectified that by explaining exactly who Afton was, how he even ended up being at the pizzeria in the first place, and 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 a number of other things like how he like his history between his daughter and him. That would have been nice to explore, but again, we don't really get any of that. So, oh, see you later, Scott. That is one despicable aunt. I agree. And she literally gets killed off, and then when that Mike never talks about her again. Okay, so I know it's just I'm like, what the fuck is the point? I just don't get it. So like like the film brings up potentially like the film just forgets things at times, and I'm just like, while not expanding on things that actually matter. And it's just annoying. Like like I feel like the film should have focused more on like you could still keep the babysitter character to the point where like after a certain point like she can no longer work for Mike for whatever reason, then Mike has no choice but to bring his sister to work, and then that's when things get interesting. Like the custody battle didn't need to be a part of the plot. And then you have Vanessa, who is just she's such a weird character. I feel like I just didn't understand her character because she clearly had connections to the restaurant and didn't tell Mike that didn't barely told Mike anything about it. Information that would have saved his life later down the line. And not to mention, I'm guessing because she didn't want to defy her father or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Her character is just not really explored very much, which is sad. And she's weird because she likes bipolar at times. At one point, she's like, "Okay, oh yeah, these animatronics come to life at night, by the way. But you know what? Let's play with them and Abby for now because they're for whatever reason. Like all of them build a fort together in the restaurant. I don't know. But then later, she's like, "Don't bring Abby back to this restaurant, or or I'll shoot you." And I'm like, "Bitch, the fuck." How do you go from let's just play with the animatronics for now to I'll if you bring your sister back, I will shoot you. I will shoot you. I'm like, dude, she went from 0 to 100 real quick. And the funny thing is that she'd even say I'll arrest you, just I'll shoot you. Like, okay, sure. Although to be honest, if she really didn't want her, she really didn't. If she was really worried about anyone getting anyone getting killed at that restaurant. Why did she just tell Mike to stay away from the very beginning? I don't know. I guess she didn't know at first that he had a sister, but it's like I feel like Vanessa could have like prevented a lot of things from happening in this film. Right? Like if you bring Abby back to the pizzeria, I will shoot you. Although to be fair, Mike I think it was Golden Freddy that brought Abby back rather than Mike. But but um but you know, still it was still a stupid line from her. Like, yeah, but see, Vanessa is odd. Like, see, you guys get it. She's just such a weird ass character. I was like, and I found it weird that they gave her that name because in Security Breach she had no connection to Afton at all. So I don't know because Afton appeared only in games one, two, three, and Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator. And Vanessa appeared in Security Breach. So yeah, okay. Anyway, I watched this with my mom on Peacock. She was really confused on who Afton was, but didn't really ask any questions. Yeah, there's no point asking questions because this film's not going to answer any of them. The intro cinematic did all the explanation of Afton that I think was needed. I guess that's fair, but it still would have been nice to have a bit more have a bit more backstory on him as a character because I really want to see more of him. I guess they were trying to go with the creepy, mysterious vibe with her character. Yeah, and they flopped. I honestly feel like this should have been one of those movies that only took place in one location. It was just there for the sake of the twist at the end, pretty much. Yeah, the FNAF movie is streaming on Peacock, which I found really weird because I went to the theaters to go. I went to, as I said earlier, I went to the theaters with my cousins to see the movie and my oldest cousin's boyfriend. We all went to see the movie, and after the movie, my cousin actually said that she has Peacock, and she actually said the FNAF movie was streaming on Peacock, and I was like, "What the fuck? I didn't know that." I was like, "Why is it streaming on Peacock already?" But yeah, the movie did make quite a bit of money at the box office. It was a financial success. It was like I think it had a budget of like 20 million, and then it's apparently now it's approaching 300 million worldwide. Just wow. I like how the guy that's Afton's son wasn't Afton's son, and the girl that isn't Afton's daughter was Afton's daughter. That was really awesome. That's basically what the movie did. So yeah, it was an interesting twist, but you know, the Afton's daughter herself was just a mess. And I think it's already been confirmed to be out already on 4K and Blu-ray on December 12th. Oh, okay. The fact that it was on Peacock was one of the main selling points of the movie. It was pretty much the reason I didn't go to see it. Oh, okay. To be honest, I could have watched it on Peacock on my cousin's account, but I wanted to go and see it in theaters. Although to be honest, I didn't even know she had it on Peacock at one point until after the movie, though. Like, but I would have still wanted to go and see it in theaters. I didn't even know it was on Peacock at first. I was like, oh wow, okay. I think that's all. Are those all the negatives I have? So basically, the movie didn't feel much like a FNAF film. It was focused too much on the human characters. And the drama, I mean, don't get me wrong, the drama itself it wasn't boring. It was somewhat interesting, but like, it just took up too much time and could have been written better. Oh yeah, I don't think even think I talked about this part right here. So, what exactly was the point of Mike suffering all that trauma from his brothers being kidnapped like years ago? Because I mean, I guess he just wanted closure on. He wanted to know what happened, but and then it's revealed that Afton was the one who actually did it. So, and then it's just resolved like that. I don't know. I don't know. It just like I don't know. It just felt to me like that was just resolved a little too easily. Cause like it wasn't even just so much not knowing who took his brother. It was also like just the fact that it happened that traumatized him. And all of a sudden it's just resolved. I don't know. It just felt like I feel like it was just a little too resolved too easily. Like just his trauma over his brother's kidnapping. Like I just felt like that was I don't know. I just felt like that was a little too easily resolved. Anyway, no, let me go to the positives first. Because we haven't talked about the positives yet. Well, I will say one thing: the visuals were quite good. They were actually quite good. They were really good. Like, I mean, I like the look of the restaurant. It felt scary. It really did feel like a Five Nights at Freddy's place. And the animatronics actually looked really cool. I actually liked the animatronics. They looked like the excuse me the classic um, models from the FNAF one games. They looked really good. I actually liked them, and they looked scary too. So the like really the set design was just good overall. The set design, everything. I liked it. The animatronics, everything. So the movie definitely did really well with that. Oh, and apparently Daco actually posted a video a month ago where he actually got to go and see the sets. He actually went to go and take a tour of the set or whatever, which I didn't care to watch. So I just want to point that out. I just didn't care to watch it. Um, so yeah, the visuals were great. The acting was good. I mean, well, except for the ants, Mike's aunt's acting. Hers was bad, but everyone else's performance was ranged from decent to good. So I don't think the acting was overall bad. I thought it was fine for the most part. But yeah, Mike's aunt just no. Like she felt like it felt like she was overacting. Although to be fair, maybe it was the director's fault. I have no idea. The director of this movie doesn't have her own wiki page. The fuck? That's weird. But yeah, like the visuals were great. The acting was good. The soundtrack was actually pretty decent. I liked a few of the songs there. So so yeah, I mean I thought the songs were cool. And the humor was also nice. Like there were a few moments that generally did make me laugh. So like because FNAF has always had humor in it. But but yeah, like I found several of the jokes in the film pretty funny. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure I would call this a horror film. I don't even know what genre it is. I feel like it's trying to be a horror film, but I don't think it actually is. Maybe it's part of a different genre, then that would be fine. But if this movie was trying to be a horror film, I don't think it succeeded. Anyway, because there are moments where the animatronics do kill people, but those are mostly off screen. Like someone gets like stabbed to death in the closet, a girl literally gets the babysitter gets like chomped. Like she half of her the top half of her body is like comped right off. It's just and her legs fall to the floor and shit like that. But but yeah, like I don't know what this film was trying to be, but in terms of genres, but yeah, going back to humor, it was pretty decent. So yeah, there were some positives here. Definitely more positives than Wish. That one scene where that character gets cut in half, though. Yeah, exactly. That's the scene I'm talking about. Yeah, I really wish it didn't happen to the. I really wish it hadn't happened to the sitter either, because the sitter she wasn't a good person, but really all she just did was she was only the getaway driver. She didn't go in there and trash anything. But you know, it had to happen. Does the credit song count? What was the credit song? Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was good too. As well as the intro cinematic song. Josh Hutcherson. Who's Josh Hutcherson? I need to look that person up because I do not remember who that person is. Oh, oh, duh. Huh. The guy who played Mike. Okay, okay. So, so he was actually. Oh, he was in the Hunger Game movies. Oh, okay, cool. He was Pita. Oh, I didn't even know that. I think I only watched like the first Hunger Games movie. That was it. That was the only one I watched. How do you fuck do you not know who Josh Hutcherson is? Because I don't watch the Hunger Game movies. Although I'm sure he's acted in more than that. He's all I've been seeing in the past week. I don't really pay much attention to like I know that this movie, the FNAF movie, has had a lot of like discourse and a lot of attention. I don't pay attention to that shit, just to be honest. But yeah, I can see this movie working somewhat as a kid's very first scary movie. I agree with that, Maple. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Like it's a film that it feels like a scary film that was made for kids in mind, but it's really not. It's honestly not scary for the most part. I mean, there are a few moments that did give me a good jump scare, like the Balloon Boy segments. But yeah, the whistle fan cam. I haven't. I honestly haven't seen that. I really haven't. Sorry, I just haven't. I don't know. Maybe I just live under a rock, but I really haven't seen that. but but yeah, like this movie really isn't very scary. There are a few scary moments, but this movie's just not very scary. So, but if you want to get your kids into scary movies, this could be a good starter. But yeah, it's not a very good movie. It's not bad. I'd say Wish is bad, but this movie isn't bad. This movie is just mid. I mean, the story is kind of a mess, and there's not enough FNAF material in it. Those are really my two biggest complaints with the movie. But but I mean, it did have overall decent acting, and the visuals were really really good, and the soundtrack and humor were decent. So there's that. But yeah, like if you want to look for better video game adaptations, there are plenty out there. Like Mario, Sonic, Arcane. Those are good examples. Those were good adaptations. This one just wasn't. And even if you push aside even if you look at this from even if you look at this not as a Five Nights at Freddy's film, but just as any film, like as its own thing, it's still not very good. Because again, like the story is kind of a mess with too much of an emphasis on Mike's trauma and not enough of an emphasis on everything else that's going around him. Yeah, a sequel's basically been confirmed at this point, which I'm not looking forward to watching. Although to be fair, maybe Bloomhouse will learn from the critics, all the criticisms, and do something better next time. But but yeah, like this film, even as a standalone film, like if you're just watching it, not even as a FNAF fan, but just as as um as a regular moviegoer who's not a FNAF fan, it's still not very good because the story structure is a mess. So, oops. Okay. Well, I guess I could put that in the comments. So the FNAF movie is painfully mid. The visuals, the visuals are nice, but the story is flat. Wish is just bad. It's just bad. It doesn't do anything different. And even, I mean, the things that it does are crap. So, oops. So, Five Nights at Freddy's, I get that. I don't want to say six. Oh, that reminds me. I forgot. Before I even give my ratings, actually, no. Let me just give my ratings and then talk about it. Um, so, uh, I'm gonna give it a five. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't think it's a it's film. Sorry. Six would imply that it was close to being decent. To me, this movie is not close to being decent. Wish gets I want to say 2 out of 10. Let's do 2.5 out of 10. 2.5. Yes. Yes. I'm calling these movies that bad. They because they are. At least to me. Okay, so going back to this, okay, so as I said earlier, there was a lot of fan services, a lot of fan service in this film. 2.5 LMAO. Oh my gosh, but Wish is just that to me. I need to sleep. Okay, we're almost done anyway, but if you need to go now, that's fine. I thank you for coming, though. It's nice to see you again. Bloomhouse is just very inconsistent in general. Ooh. That makes me really apprehensive towards the second film then. The sequel that's being planned. But anyway, another thing I want to point out is that yeah, there are apparently a few this movie did have a lot of fan service and they made a few YouTubers there were a few YouTuber cameos here. Like Corey X Kenshin showed up at one point. Matt Pat showed up at one point as characters. Just minor characters, but they were characters. And and there was even like this shot of employees of the month, like this wall in the movie, and Daco and 8-Bit Ryan were on that along with other YouTubers. Um, so yeah, you do see a few. There are a few. You do see a few YouTubers make appearances here. I didn't really care though. I really did not care. I'm fine with fan service. I don't care if it, as long as it's done tastefully. I would say the fan service was done tastefully here, just that I just didn't care about it. Like they made Corey X Kenshin show up as a taxi driver. I did not care. I mean, I already knew that was a thing because the trailer showed it, but I just didn't care. And Matt Pat showed up, and as a waiter at a restaurant that Mike's aunt was, eating at with her crew, the people she was conspiring with to ruin Mike's life. And Mad Pat shows up at one point, and and um and and he says something, some random piece of information. Then he says, "But that's just a theory." And I was like, "Wow, really? Like, was that supposed to entertain me?" I'm sorry, I'm just like not impressed with the YouTuber cameos here. Where it's like, I feel like the movie was like trying to say, "Oh, we got Corey X Kenshin here. We got Mappa here. Oh, and Mappa says the line too. He says the line. Like, they're like, say the line, say the line, say the line." And he says the line. They're like, "Yeah." And I was like, I'm like, I don't care. I do not give a shit. Sorry. I didn't care. I wouldn't have cared if the YouTuber cameos had been taken out entirely. It's like the movie thought I was going to be. I mean, I'm sure some people got enjoyment out of that, but I was like, I'm just not impressed. Sorry. I've seen movies that do fan service better. Like as Maple said in the chat, like the Mario movie did fan service better. I wouldn't say this movie did fan service badly, but just that it just didn't impress me very much. Like Corey X Kenshin makes like two appearances as a taxi driver, and I was just like, I don't care. Now Pat shows up and says the line, I don't care. Daco and a few other YouTubers show up as the employees of the month at the Fazbear restaurant. I don't care. It doesn't help that I guess I just barely even watch these YouTubers in general. I only really watch them whenever I'm around my cousins because we have the most fun watching them when we're all together. Other than that, I never touch their content. Yeah. So, oops. Oh, was there a deleted scene that had Corey in it? I honestly don't know. But I agree, DBC. That this movie was pretty mid. I'm glad to see you here actually. But oh, let me go back to this. Okay. So yeah. Um. But yeah, like this movie, the FNAF movie was painfully mid. Wish was just bad. I wouldn't even say it was mid. It was just bad, just quite bad. Not really bad, but just bad because it tries so hard to rely on Disney tropes without telling its original story, and it's really fucking sad. So yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's gets a 5 out of 10 for me. I feel like that's mean, but I'm sorry, but this movie just wasn't very good. But it wasn't bad. It just wasn't very good. Whereas Wish was actually bad, so I gave it a 2.5 out of 10. This movie wasn't really anything like the original game, which is why I say it wasn't a FNAF film. I refuse to call FNAF a FNAF film. The FNAF movie is not a FNAF film. I refuse to call it that. It's not. It's just not. The guy didn't really do his job at all. I can't remember. The security guards to keep the animatronics out. You keep an eye on them and keep them out of the office. But that doesn't happen for the most part. He literally spends his time sleeping on the job and then goes home without anything bad, almost nothing bad happening the next day. There is like I think there were one or two moments where like he actually does end up having to like throw a switch or something to like keep the animatronics out or whatever. I don't, but like that it's only for those two moments. Other than that, he literally doesn't do his job. It's just this movie is not a FNAF movie. I'm not gonna call it that. Sorry, not sorry. And plus, another thing that actually hasn't even. No, it's not even just that the guy didn't do his job, but because the restaurant basically got destroyed at the end of the film because not even destroyed, but like the entrance got like blocked off or whatever because it caved in for some reason. I don't know. Something went wrong in the restaurant after Afton was outed as a killer by Mike's sister. and then the animatronics turned on Afton, and uh, and I don't know, but basically it's like, okay, Mike, so you're not going back to that restaurant, but are you going to support your sister now? Because the movie doesn't answer that. I don't know. And again, I would have liked to see a bit more explanation on Afton's character. Like, why exactly is he so obsessed with these children? And how is he even controlling them? But whatever. So I am a FNAF. Well, actually, I wouldn't even call myself a FNAF fan anymore. I think I stopped being a FNAF fan after Security Breach happened. I'm sorry, but that game gave me PTSD. You all know how I feel about that game. You know that I hate it with a passion, and that I think it's unarguably the worst FNAF game in the entire series because it did so many things wrong and almost nothing right. It was an unfinished, buggy ass mess. It was like Sonic 06, but even worse, in my opinion. I feel like it was worse than Sonic 06. I'm not joking when I say that. But so I just stopped paying attention to the series after Security Breach. I was like, no, I'm done. Bye. I'd even played the ruined DLC for Security Breach. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I gave you a chance, Security Breach. No, bye. I'm not going back to you. But anyway, but I was at one point a FNAF fan, so I did come into this knowing the lore, at least to some degree, because we all know that the lore is utter crap because it is. Scott Cawthon can't write worth a damn. But I did know some of the lore, and which was pretty straightforward for the first three games at least. And this movie was based on the first game, loosely. So I knew the lore, and I still didn't think it was very good. So don't come at me saying, "Oh, you no, shut up." That's not how it works. So because I played every single fucking game in the series. Go look at my channel if you don't believe me. So don't come into this saying that, and no one's really saying that right now, but I'll say it right now anyway. Don't come into this rant stream thinking that I didn't know anything about the lore or that I've never played any games because that's just flat wrong. I've never read any of the books, but I have played the games. The books I don't care about, but I have played the games. So I came into this with knowing the lore to some degree, and it still wasn't very good. So, oops. But yeah, like this wasn't a very faithful adaptation, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to like change up something in the story because adaptations they don't necessarily have to be. You guys already know this, but I'll say it anyway. Adaptations don't necessarily have to be completely faithful. Sometimes they can even be better than the original product. But this wasn't that at all. It was in some ways worse than the original product. So sorry, but no, this was not a good adaptation. It's odd how certain people are defending this movie because it's a movie made for fans. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Like people are like defending this movie because oh, you don't know the you're not a fan, so you can't so you probably like you won't like the movie anyway. Well, I was a fan at one point and I still didn't like the movie, so you can shut the fuck up with that, as I said earlier. So it's not really about being a fan. This movie just isn't good no matter how you look at it. Sorry. But anyway, that's all I have to say on the fucking movies here, which were so painfully mid at best. And yeah, I agree, DBZ. Like, Mike kept having the same damn dream like 10 times. I was like, at one point, no joke, at one point I was literally like, Mike, stop fucking obsessing over your brother. That is so damn annoying. Like, I just got annoyed with it, as I said earlier. I was just so tired of it. Because at one point I was like, okay, can we move on with this trauma and get to the animatronic shit? Like at one point, I literally wanted to scream, "Mike, get over yourself and move on, please." You have more important things to worry about, I assume. I mean, although to be fair, like people, like if you have a condition like Mike, you can't fully control what you obsess over. but like the things that the movie shoved that mess in your face so many times that I just got annoyed. Like I get it, like when you have a mental condition like Mike does, it's hard to control these thoughts. I know because like I said this in the past. I said this in the past, but I actually have OCD traits, so I know what it's like to obsess over shit like that. But like, this is a story, fam, and you gotta move along. You can't just dwell on shit for too long. Like, damn, bitch. People were once again crying about Rotten Tomatoes, right? Like, people were bitching, like, oh my god, go listen to critics because they're gonna hate the movie. They're gonna hate every movie. It's like if you guys don't have to like their opinions, but you know, they're free to think what they want. Leave them alone. You don't have to like their opinions. You don't have to agree with them, but leave them the fuck alone, please. And then they'd be like, and then they'll be like, but the audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes is good. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Me neither. I don't care. It's like they look at the audience score and not the critic score. They're like, oh, the critic score is going to be bad, but the audience score is going to be good. So let's listen to the audience score. No, that's not how criticism works. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, it sounded like a 4 out of 10 at best for being a funny bad movie. Damn, DBC was even hard. DBC hasn't even lower rating for this movie than I do. But yeah, I give this movie a 5 out of 10. But it's not a very good one. Also, William Afton really tried to kill his own daughter. Like, damn! Oh, fuck! Like, because the original William Afton never even tried to kill his own daughter. Because his own daughter accidentally died because she was alone with an animatronic, even though her father warned her not to go near any of the animatronics alone. But she did anyway because she was just curious, and she got eaten by a baby. So the original William Afton didn't even want to kill his own daughter, but this one was like, nah, screw you, and dies. And it's like just kills, straight up fucking tries to, just stabs a knife in her, and it's painfully too. I'm like, dude, the fuck, you crazy. Which is fine because William Afton was always crazy, but like, damn, I was not expecting that. Yeah, that was a sad death in the sister location game. I'd say Wish is worse than FNAF. Oh, no doubt. But no doubt. I think we're all in agreement there. Wish is definitely worse than FNAF. FNAF at least tried. At least there was some effort put into the movie. FNAF at least tried. Wish didn't try at all. I'm sorry, but Wish did not try. There was nothing about it that felt like there was some sort of passion behind it. It was, as I said, it was a soulless movie. But yeah, I enjoyed the FNAF movie more. I actually liked that one more. I came out of the movie liking it somewhat. Wish I didn't. I didn't like it all. I was just like, this movie sucks. I'm out. I'm fucking out. I'm fucking out of this bitch. Really, all his children's deaths are very tragic. Yeah, I agree. You did say in your Discord server you almost fell asleep. Yeah, and I said it earlier in the stream too, but you might not have been around for that. I almost fell asleep when I was watching Wish. I am not joking. Although to be fair, part of it was because like my work schedule had recently changed, so I'm working early instead of late now, and I'm still my sleep schedule is still like a little out of whack. So I didn't get I hadn't gotten a lot of sleep the previous night, but like but still, even with that in mind, I was actually still pretty alert up until up until I watched the Wish movie, and then I watched it, and I just fell asleep a number of times. Uh, so oops. I almost fell asleep. I literally, as I said, I literally have to stand up just to stay awake at certain points. And even then, like it wasn't even just that I fell asleep. At certain points, I was just bored and my mind wandered off to other things. I was like, I could be doing other things right now. It's like, I'm bored. Let me think about something else. I just put someone in timeout because he kept asking for your phone number. Ew. Ew. Who? Yeah, I didn't see it either. Or is it, what the fuck? It was in the live chat. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't even see that because I'm looking at the chat in the stream on the streaming page. So I guess I just didn't see it. No joke. Someone, but I'm glad you did that, Maple. Thank you. But I think earlier I saw, yeah, there are two chats apparently. I literally forgot about the live chat. Thought it was the same thing as the one I was looking at, but I was like, but no, it's actually two different things, which makes sense. I honestly did not even notice it, but now I do. Now I know about it. But the two different chats, I mean. But anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, earlier someone actually wanted me to give them a shout out, and I was like, no. I didn't say it. I didn't say anything. I just ignored it. But in my mind, I was like, no, I'm not giving you a shout out. No, you all know how I feel about that. You need to actually do something that's worthy of a shout out before I give it to you. So, no. Like that's just attention seeking behavior. I won't tolerate. Anyway, but yeah, like Wish is worse than FNAF. They both suck, but you're more likely to enjoy FNAF than Wish. I did get some enjoyment out of FNAF. Not I didn't get anything out of Wish. I tried to find something to like about this film. I tried, but I couldn't do it. Other than a few select things, such as what, like, like again the visuals, which kind of liked. I liked the art style they're going for, but again, it was incomplete. So, and it looked like it wasn't fully rendered. That's so. Yeah, I'm sorry. And the animation was nice, and there were one or two good tracks in there, and that's it. And the voice acting was good, but again, that's it. That's it. That's all I can think of. Everything else was just not bad. Yeah, exactly. I really don't like it when people ask for shoutouts. No. No, fuck that. If you help me out, like you give me a gaming tip or a donation, I don't ask for money, but if I ever did, I will give you a shout out for that. Or helping me out in any way or whatever. Or if you're a friend of mine who collaborates with me or does or or just someone I really know and I don't mind giving you a shout out. It depends. Like it depends. Like if you're a friend of mine who's trying to grow his channel or her channel and or if you're someone who actually helps me in while I'm playing a game or whatever, or while I'm ranting or whatever, then I don't mind giving you a shout out. But if you just come up in this place and ask for a shout out when you didn't actually do anything, then no. I remember you if you asked for subs we would ban, right? Actually no, I said like that's like after you ask too many times. Like if you ask for subs you get a mute or a timeout, and then if you kept doing it you get a ban. But some people would just get banned right away because they were repeat offenders. And I was just like, no, no, I'm not dealing with you. I know who you are. Ban. Like Miranda Meeks. Although she was banned for different reasons. But God, you all remember her. Oh my fucking God, I cannot with that bitch. Oh, she was just worst. I would only mention my channel if I had videos that had to do with the live stream of the game you were playing. Yeah, exactly. I don't mind self promotion as long as it's done tastefully. Like, like if you say, "Oh, this is a cool, this is a really cool run you did." I have a similar run too where I do this or something like that. I don't care. But if you just come up here and ask for a shout out or whatever, or ask me to or ask somebody or me or anyone else to sub for you, no, stop. Just no, bad, very bad. Don't do it. It's very bad. There are ways to promote yourself without coming off as annoying or tactless because, it's my stream and, the attention should be on me. It could be on other people, but at the end of the day, it's my stream and so it should primarily be on me. And if you come up here and ask and, try to get that attention away, without a good reason, like, it's just no. Just fucking no. Just no. If you're going to promote yourself, do it tastefully. Please. Yeah, happy early birthday, kind gamer Patrick. Happy early birthday. So, yeah, just fuck off with that mindset. Fuck off with that. Like, there are ways to promote yourself without coming off as obnoxious. If you want to say, oh, I have actually a blog post that talks about whatever you're playing or whatever issue you're talking about, or I have a guide that helps explain this further or whatever, good. But if you just come up here and ask for a sub or a shout out, no, no, just no. Anyway, but yeah, happy early birthday, kind gamer Patrick, and you're welcome. Yeah, of course, I don't mind saying happy birthday to people in chat as well. That's fine too. The FNAF movie, uh, no, sorry, never mind. So I was about to say something, but never mind. So yeah, that's all I have to say on the movies. Now, I should probably talk about other things I plan to do. I'm actually, I'm actually gonna, I hope I do get vacation weeks, like 2 vacation weeks coming up. This will give me time to do a number of things. So, because I really do need to get Arkham Knight out of the way. I really do. As well as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Shit, I forgot to order that. I want to order that, but I forgot. Anyway, but I did order Just Dance 2024, but that I won't get to that for a long time because I haven't even played 2023. So yeah, but I do have Just Dance 2024 now. So I have 2023 and 2024. I do plan to stream those in the future, just not now. I have other games I want to focus on first. And what else? And Sonic Frontiers. So Arkham Knight, Sonic Frontiers, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 are like games I want to focus on right now. So have you considered getting a PS5? Yeah, I actually really do want a PS5. I really do want one. The Xbox Series X, I don't give a shit about. I do not care about that console or the Xbox Series S even. I don't care. But the PS5 I actually do want. And there's apparently a slim model that's out nowadays, and it's even bundled with the with Spider-Man 2. But like I was like, ooh, and there's Black Friday deal on it. But it was only like $50 off, so it ended up being 499.99 instead of 54.99.99. I'm sorry, no, 549.99. Sorry. So that's like $50 off, and I was like, no. My brother didn't want to go above 300, so I mean, I could buy it myself, but I really don't want to shell out that much money right now. So I'm just gonna wait on the PS5. And plus, from what I heard, there are gonna be newer PS5 Slim models coming out early next year. So I might just wait until there's a newer version of the Slim model. You can play in Robert Pattinson's Batman suit, at least for the upcoming Switch version. Anyway, oh, I did not know that. Oh, actually, I think you did mention that at one point. I think I remember you talking about that at one point. But anyway, I'm loving the PS5 so far. Good. Because it does seem like a cool console. I do want one, but I just don't see the point in getting one right now. Actually, I do see the point in getting one right now. It's just that I don't want to like shell out so much money for it right now, especially when there are newer models on the way. I'm just gonna wait a bit. But I do plan to have one by like early next year. Hopefully before spring. I do want to play Spider-Man 2, and I really need to play Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 because I've not even played the original. Well, Resident Evil 5 I've already touched for the PS3. I need to play 4 and 6 though because I have not actually played the original uh game for Resident Evil 4. Well, the HD re-release for the PS4 or whatever. So I have not played that or the new Resident Evil 4. Final Fantasy 16. I've heard of that game. I think I've been hearing good things about it. I'm not sure though. I don't think I've heard any bad things about it. Oh wait, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is on sale? Yeah, but I want the physical copy. I think digitally it's gosh, let me look. Let me look at the Xbox store. Which apparently the original Xbox 360 live marketplace is gonna go down like I think early next year, which sucks, unfortunately. But I mean, nothing lasts forever. Okay, or maybe it's already down. I don't remember. Okay, let me look up Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Ah, the fuck no! Oh my god. I really do want to play that. Okay, so there's a Vault Edition. I'm gonna get the Xbox version because I can still play it on my Xbox One, and thank God for that because I don't feel like shelling out any money for a Series X. Okay, ew, 99.99. Ew, that's the Vault Edition though. I guess that makes sense because Vault Editions of these games, deluxe editions or whatever, they're usually pretty damn expensive. But sometimes they do get discounts because I used to actually check these very regularly, and that those were the typical prices for them. Of course, whenever I do get cross-gen bundles, I do try to get the Xbox Series version because I mean you can play either one, like either at the Xbox One or the Xbox Series versions on both consoles, but like I get the Series version because that way I don't have to like if I ever do get a Series X in the future, I won't have to deal with just being stuck on a version that's optimized for the Xbox One only because it just makes more sense to do it that way. But anyway, okay, so let me check Amazon because I think there is a bit of a sale on Amazon. Oh my God, there we go. Okay, yeah, there is for the PS5 version. It's 59.99. I can get it overnight, but that's not really what I want to do. I don't want the PS5 version. I want this version. Okay, so there's the digital code. That's not what I want though. Oh, okay, no, that's on sale too. The Series X and Xbox One version, the cross-gen model. Okay. There's a physical copy that's available for 59.99, so it's $10 off the original price. That's not that's not bad, but I mean, this has like 3 stars out so far. Damn. Yeah, yeah, apparently you guys have been telling me that you've been hearing bad things from Modern Warfare 3. So, oops. Oh yeah, that's right. You can update your PS4 games to the PS5. uh, uh, graphics like Sonic Frontiers, the Insomniac Spider-Man games, God of War Ragnarok, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And yeah, you got Marvel's Midnight Suns, Crash Rumble, and Gotham Knights for Black Friday. Gotham Knights, I have no interest in playing that game. I've seen gameplay footage and trailers of it, but I don't care about it. But, I mean, it seems to be an interesting concept, but like the game itself seems so uninteresting to me. The Modern Warfare 3 game was very rushed in development, just like Call of Duty 3. But yeah, that sucks. Oh man, I really hope I have a good experience with the game because I don't want to play something that's rushed. Yeah, I know you can play Xbox One discs on Xbox Series X. It's just that like it would make more sense to get the X to get like Xbox Series X games that are. This makes sense to get those just in case you want to get an Xbox Series X. But I just realized that this game's actually not being sold into separate copies for the Xbox Series X and Xbox One. Activision used to do that, but now they don't. Like now it's just one. Now it's just one disc. Now it's just one disc. It used to be two different discs, which was hella confusing. But then they're like, "No, you know what? Let's just simplify it." So now it's just one. Now it's just one disc that optimizes itself based on what console you have. So so you don't have that whole you don't have those two separate discs anymore, which I'm glad they did away with because it just made things confusing. It makes me think that a video game strike might happen once it's allowed to happen. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a strike within the animation industry once the current deal expires next year. You can't also forget the strike that's going on with VFX artists from Disney and Marvel. Even though the actors and writer strike is over, there's still plenty more strikes to come. And Bob Iger made comments today about the slump that Disney is in right now, and basically first that he's full of shit and just trying to shift the blame on anyone but himself. The most laughable one was when he said that Disney has too many sequels. That's a lot of crap that's going to happen, or that has already happened. It's like that's a lot of crap. I really do hope more strikes don't happen, but at this rate, it looks like they might. For animation and for video games. I mean, the actors and writers strike is over, but who's to say that that's going to be the end of all strikes for now? It's not. Not if people are going to keep working their employees to death. And it really is dumb that Bob Iger said that. It's like, you're going to complain that Disney has too many sequels when you were the one who greenlit them? Pathetic. Just no sense of accountability, no self awareness with that one, huh? Oh, okay. See you later, Kind Gamer Patrick. Thank you for coming. Bye. I'm about to end the stream soon anyway, because I really do have to like. So I actually have to like get up early in the morning tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to stay for too long. But I'm just glad to have gotten this rant stream out of the way. But yeah, apparently Kind Gamer Patrick has issues with Just Dance 2023 and Just Dance 2024, which I don't blame him for, because I mean I don't think I've heard anything about Just Dance 2024 because I've been avoiding anything related to it. But Just Dance 2023, I've heard mixed to negative reviews on. So oops. But anyway. And he also tried to claim that the reason why the Marvels flopped was because of Marvel oversaturation was made during the pandemic. And once again, fam, you were the one that greenlit that. I know, like you were the one who said that was fine to make. So whose fault is it? Like you have the power to make or break any of these movies, any of these sequels. Yet you keep letting Disney make them. So What are you complaining about? You're the one letting this shit happen, and you're the one that basically buried that movie, The Marvels, in marketing and promotion because you helped keep the strike going for so long. I know, I don't know. It's just like some people just have no sense of accountability where they blame everyone else but themselves. It's like they're never the problem, everyone else is. Like, fam, that's not how the real world works. You need to grow the fuck up. Don't even get me started on what's going on with David Zaslav and the Warner Brothers. Oh no. Oh no. That doesn't sound good. Where it feels like every other week a movie's getting canceled due to tax write-off bullshit. Man, America, get it together. What's going on? It's like you gotta pay people, fam. You gotta pay people. Don't pay if you don't pay people, they they're not gonna do the work. Please pay people. It's not hard. Well, when you do it correctly. But then again, I know sometimes you do end up having to lay people off because, shit happens. But that's not really what's happening here, where it feels like people are just not being paid because companies are just being greedy. And it's frustrating. How he doesn't how he doesn't market DC movies was just causing all of them to flop so hard. Yeah, yeah, marketing can make or break a movie. Like, look at Strange World. Like, if you don't market your movies, then you shouldn't expect them to do so well. Like, marketing's important, fam. If you don't market your shit, don't expect it to do so well. He's made a Lucky Barbie movie. He's Lucky Barbie made a fortune because Warner Brothers could be in an even worse place than they already are. Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong at all. I kept writing a piece about how it feels like the theatrical experience of movies is dead now because most franchise installments don't even feel like events anymore. They don't. They feel like cash grabs, soulless cash grabs. I feel like you should. I mean, of course, cash grabs have been around for a long time, but movies feel oversaturated with them now, and it's just really annoying. Or not even necessarily cash grabs, but movies that just flop because of poor management and not, overworking your employees. It's like it's like people forget that at the end of the day, movies are there to entertain people. And if you don't make a movie with that in mind, do you honestly expect it to do well? Although first I'm going to finish my review on Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I should have out by tomorrow, along with a new ranking of my top 10 Mario movies. Okay, good. I think I'll read the I think I'll read the review. I don't have Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I have heard of it, of course. My cousin has it, but she's been playing it. I should ask her what she thinks of it too. But I'll read your review of it anyway because this is one of those cases where I don't really care if I read a review before I play something. So who knows? Because sometimes looking at a review before you go out and try something can actually help. and it often does. So I might just look at your review and see if the game is right for me, and if it's not, well, that's okay. I mean, I'll give it a chance anyway, but it's like, it's like whatever. Like I'll just try it, even if whether or not you give it a good review. And yeah, apparently Super Mario RPG is out too, which I have not tried. I do want it though. I really want that one because I remember playing the original game and I loved it so much. Even some new franchises and IP installments I received well aren't always guaranteed to make money, like the new Mission Impossible. Although many people believe the reason why Mission Impossible 7 underperformed is because they released it just a week before Barbie and Oppenheimer came out. I like how Sonic Superstars make as much as sale didn't make as much as Sega wanted because they released that just days before Mario and Spider-Man 2. Yeah, the timing of the release can also affect, the success of your product. I mean, just look at what happened to the Dreamcast. Um, it was released like I think a year or two before the PS2, so which was still like, I mean, it was still a decent amount of time, but for the PS2 to just show up and blow the Dreamcast out of the water, and then for two other consoles to show up, the Nintendo GameCube and Microsoft's Xbox, that's just an oof. If only the Dreamcast had a few more years. But anyway, okay. But but yeah, that's really all I have to say. And with the new 2 week with the 2 weeks of vacation I'm gonna have coming up, hopefully, because I for some reason wait until the last minute to request them, but let's just hope I still get them. Um uh like I'll use that time to work on collecting the trophies for Arkham Knight and working on my stories. But anyway, I just find it interesting that how the three highest grossing films of the year are Barbie, Mario, and Oppenheimer. Not a single one of them had a budget over $150 million. That says something. How Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was the only movie that year with a budget of over $200 million to make a profit. Hmm, that is interesting. So many games here I want to play. I want to try out Super Mario Brothers Wonder, and I want to try out Super Mario RPG and Spider-Man 2. But I'm gonna have to wait on those. Anyway, everything is a mess right now, if you can tell. Yeah, it's been quite a mess for for movies this year. For really for the last few years, but the whole actors strike and writers strike, holy shit, that was insane. Damn. But hopefully things improve. Although I'm not holding my breath. That's honestly why I'm going in with a New Year's resolution to not go spend money to watch movies on in theaters on films that are not guaranteed to be at least a 3 out of 4 stars. At least 3 out of 4 star movies for me. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, if a movie to me a movie is good if it's like at least a 7 out of 10. I gave the Mario movie a 7 out of 10. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was serviceable. I thought it was decent. Like I thought the humor was good. I thought the story could have used some work, but I thought it was decent. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was either a 7 or a 7.5. I'm pretty sure it was at least a 7. So yeah, if a movie is not at least a 7, then I don't consider it good. So even if it's a 6.5, that's okay, but it's not good. What did I even give the Mario movie? What rating did I give it? Let me look. I can look really fast. Uh, let's see. I put it somewhere here. Let me just search for it. Oh, there we go. What did I get? What rating did I give it? I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'm tempted to see Aquaman 2 just for the special effects, but I don't think it's going to be worth spending $15 to $20 on it. Plus, the movie has not been getting good test screening whatsoever. Oops. Not off to a good start. I even remember one scooper I followed and trust and saw a test screening and claimed the movie was legit bad. Oops. Still not off to a good start. The only big movie I'm thinking of seeing next month is Wonka, mostly because it's directed by Paul King, the guy who did the Paddington movies. I never even watched the Paddington movies, except I think I watched the first one. I honestly don't remember. Maybe that was something else I watched. But Paddington, I've never really cared much for. Um, I mean, I read a few of the books as a kid, but that's really it. I don't think I've ever watched the movie. I think there was a TV series at one point that I barely ever watched. But Paddington Bear, I don't really care too much about. Um, but I have heard of Wonka. Well, to be honest, I don't really care much for that film. I mean, from the trailers, uh, I mean, I don't think it'll be bad, but I don't know. For some reason, I just don't think it's going to be very interesting to watch. But I could be wrong. And the Scooper also said the last time he saw a DC movie a year before everyone else did, he said he said it was bad, and everyone told him to shut up anyway. That movie was Wonder Woman 1984, and unfortunately, he was right about that movie. Ugh. Well, you guys should have listened. You guys really should have listened. Wow. I had 2 water bottles here and I'm not drunk from them. Boy, do many people hate Wonder Woman 1984 with a passion, right? So again, you guys really should have listened. Like, no, I'm telling you guys, it's bad. I remember following folks on social media who were during the marathon of DC Extended Universe movies, and they and they gave Wonder Woman 1984 a 0 out of 10, and said it was the worst film they had ever seen. I wouldn't go that far, but it was very disappointing to say the least. Ooh. I'm tempted to go and watch it out of curiosity, but I don't care much for DC, so maybe I won't even bother. I'd forgive a lot about that movie, but it had one major flaw which made it indefensible. I wonder what that flaw was. So, you, what the fuck? Wonder Woman basically, oh my god, that's awful. Basically, Diane wishes to see her first love in Steve Rogers again. It's then Steve only comes back in someone else's body and takes complete control over it. Oh my god. That is holy shit. Oh shit, my bad. I keep forgetting that. I don't even need to have these headphones in. I don't know why I'm still wearing them. Oh my fucking god, that is awful. That's fucked up. Then the two literally have sex. She had sex in another man's body, which the original owner had no control over and had zero consent. That is rape, technically. It doesn't matter if she was possessing someone else's body, of course. Like, that's rape. That is rape, technically. How did they not realize that people were going to think that that was rape? Like, taking control over somebody's body, that's not, of course, that's something that happens a lot in stories, but to have sex in it, with it, like, the fuck? Like, just the fuck? He's just messed up. That's really fucked up. Oh my god. Yeah, like, I don't know how the writers did not realize, oh, wait, isn't this rape technically? I don't like to talk about Wonder Woman 1984 because of how underwhelming it was, because the first movie was so good. The second movie, I mean, well, I'm assuming in 1984 is the second movie or whatever, but like, I mean, it's probably not. I don't know, but like but this movie, oh my god, uh, like she using somebody's body and then having sex with it. Oh, this is gross and just, oh, gross. Thank goodness Soul came out that exact same day on Disney Plus. Otherwise, my Christmas would have been completely ruined. Soul saved the day, which makes sense because it's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty wholesome movie. Thank you, Pixar and Disney. Thank you. Thank you. You saved Maple's Christmas. At least somewhat. Oh, 1984 is the second movie? Oh, okay, okay. Cool. Then that's not a movie I'm going to watch. I'll just stick to the first. It really just goes to show you how just one bad movie can ruin your whole career, right? And that movie basically killed the career of Patty Jenkins. She was going to do Wonder Woman 3, a new Star Wars movie, but it's no longer doing what he does now. Yeah, that sucks. How like one bad movie can actually mess up your entire career, or one bad video game, or whatever. Maybe not necessarily one bad video game, but it depends on what exactly makes it so hated by people. But oh my God, like just being associated with something so vile. Damn. It's like I feel bad. I feel bad for that actress. I do. I really do. Oh damn, the Scooper doesn't like Aquaman 2 either. Well, I mean, I mean, you trust him, so I assume he's credible. But like, I just hope that the movie actually does end up being better in the end. This is awful. Poor Patty Jenkins. My heart breaks for her. Oh, the director. Okay, not the actress. Oh, okay. I still feel bad for the director. It's just like, oof. Oof. It kind of reminds me of that director of Law 2020. Man, that film did not help her reputation at all. Ooh, that just sucks. I remember everyone was raving about her after the first Wonder Woman, and everyone wanted her to take control of all DC movies going forward. And now, after Wonder Woman 1984, everyone hates her now. Oh, guys, come on! She made one bad movie. Don't hate on her for one bad movie. Although that rape scene thing, just no. I remember watching your SpongeBob BFBB videos when I was in elementary school. Oh, I'm flattered. Yeah, those are pretty popular. The SpongeBob videos have always been pretty popular. So, yeah. I would recommend watching the first Wonder Woman movie, and it's one of the very best in the entire DCU. Just skip 1984. Okay, so I'll watch 1984. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I might watch out of more of a curiosity at one point, but I will watch the first Wonder Woman movie. I will watch it that much at least. But oh, that's just not a good way to. They just, I feel bad. Like, your career was basically gone just with that one movie. That's awful. That's just so awful. I feel bad. I do. Poor thing. I feel bad for her. And Aquaman 2 is supposed to be the last one in this current DC universe, which has been a thing since 2013. Then it'll all be James Gunn's DC universe now. Oh, okay. Which one again? Which once again will start in 2015 with Superman Legacy, a movie which he is writing and directing. Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. Apparently, it's scheduled to be released in 2025. Hmm, interesting. There will be other DC movies like outside that universe though, such as Robert Pattinson's Batman and Joker 2. Oh, okay. Hopefully, at least Christmas will be good for me with Sonic 3 set to come out in December of next year. Oh yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Oh, I'm excited for that. Sonic 2. No, Sonic 3. Sorry. I forgot. Sonic 2's. I meant Sonic 3. Like, Sonic 1 and 2 have been great. Hopefully, Sonic 3 will follow in their footsteps quite well. Which I'm now started shooting and confirmed it will have Shadow in it. Of course. I mean, we already know it has Shadow in it because the end of the second movie implied it. Actually, not implied it, showed it. But yeah, it's gonna have Shadow. We'll get a casting announcement for Shadow very soon. Ooh, that'll be interesting. And I'm hoping characters like Amy and Rouge will make an appearance as well. Me too. If the Sonic 3 is going to be the last movie they make for this series, I'm hoping Amy and Rouge will make an appearance too. Might as well. I remember someone fan cast Iman Vellani as Amy, the actress for Kamala Khan slash Miss Marvel. If they were doing a fangirl kind of Amy, she would be perfect for that role. I agree. I agree. I think she would do really well as Amy if that was the character that they're going to write. They were going to write. Then yeah, definitely. For Rouge, I would imagine they would cast familiar actors like Angelina Jolie or Scarlett Johansson. I agree because why not? And a big part of me would see would would love to see Jason Griffith reprise his role as Shadow, but I don't think that'll happen. I don't think that's going to happen either. I really don't think that's going to happen, but hey, it's okay. I mean, Jason Griffith was his performance as Shadow was. It's not my favorite Shadow, but I would say it was good. Although the director of the Sonic movies, Jeff Fowler, did work on the CGI cutscenes for Shadow the Hedgehog, so who knows? Yeah. What do you think about Klonoa? It's a platformer video game made by Capcom and Namco. Nameco. I don't know how to pronounce that. I never watched it, so I'm sorry, I've never played it, so I wouldn't know. I don't really touch game. I don't really touch much of Capcom's or Namco's games. I don't really touch their games very much. So, like, so I really wouldn't know. That's all you got? I think that's all I have too. I can't think of anything else to say. This was fun. I plan to, I think that's probably all the rant streams I'm going to do for now. I don't think I'm going to do any more right now. There aren't any other movies I want to watch right now, so we're just gonna, so I'm just going to stop with the rant streams for now. Because I pretty much covered every movie I wanted to watch. But yeah, I guess that's it. So, if that's all that everyone has left to say, oh wait, hold up. And again, for Arkham Knight, you can just work your way until you have collected all the Riddler trophies and are about to face the Riddler one last time. I think I'll do that. Then you can activate the Nightfall Protocol, see the true ending, and then go straight to DLCs. Okay, that sounds like a plan. I should be able to do that in like one or two streams easily. Do you like online video games or offline? I mean, I like both. I don't really have a preference, though I typically don't play. Well, I guess I kind of do because I don't really play online games very much. I rarely play them. I used to play them more often back then, but now I really don't. Normally, I just play offline. Like if it's a game like Call of Duty, I'll play it online. But usually I just don't play games online. Just know that you are aware of all the DLC for Arkham Knight. Yeah, I am. Which should all be for free. Yeah, I do have all of them. I just haven't gotten around to playing them. So, yeah, I should already have them in the game. I just need to I just need to finish up the main game and then I can just go to the DLCs. Okay, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and end it there. I do have to go to sleep early. If I go to sleep right now, I can have 6 hours of sleep, 6 or so hours of sleep, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. But anyway, yeah, but yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you all. Oh, you're good now? Okay, good. Well, that's it then. Thank you all so much for watching this rant stream. It was really fun. Anyway, I am 215. I'll see you bitches next time. So until then, deuces and goodbye. Peace.